Well,
Stand up, New York Giant fans. What's going on, Baddog?
Chris, we made it through another week. It's Friday, and this is our 100th episode of Talkin' Giants. I just want to say before we get started tonight, I mean, we say this all the time, how much we appreciate the hell out of you guys and girls. It is unbelievable, man. I'm just thinking today, where we started. The first episode we had, we taped it. We put it up here. It might have got 150 views. One thing I always remember from that episode was your dad commenting in the chat and immediately saying, you guys have great chemistry together. It was the first time we ever worked together. We told that story. We talked for like 5 minutes before we recorded it. And it's just amazing how it went from that to now. We have upwards of 7,000, 8,000 views in these shows. And it's just, we're extremely, I feel extremely fortunate, blessed that you guys have supported this show the way you have. It's been unbelievable. We've been such a bad team, and yet you guys and girls are always here. Chris, I can't thank you enough for reaching out to me, man. It was I didn't know you at all. I wasn't expecting it, and I'm glad that you chose me to do this, because I love doing what I do on YouTube. I love streaming the games. I love streaming Laker games. I love doing the videos. I love doing the hangouts. But this is my favorite thing I do. I look forward to this every week, and I want to thank you for, I couldn't do it without you, buddy. I missed you during the game last week. I mean, it was not the same.
Yeah,
times it was not the same.
I was out of it. I didn't even tune. I watched the game, obviously, but this week I'm definitely going to bring the energy, and I missed you. I missed the chat, everybody else, and when I first started on YouTube, I didn't go live for the first 3-4 months that I was doing it. I built up a little bit of a subscriber base. Some of my diehard subscribers encouraged me to go live. I went live for a couple of weeks doing the streams, and then they said, you got to try to reach out to other Giants content creators. They said, check out Baddog, do a show with him, work with him. And I went into your channel, and I think that you were doing just a hangout live stream. Maybe you had 50 people in there. And, I said, if you want to do something together. And, 2 weeks later, we were working together, and ever since we've been doing the show weekly. And it's like you said, it's, I love doing this. I love doing the Giants live streams, love doing the Giants show. And, I can't say thank you enough to you and everybody that supports this show and supports both of our channels. Even through the deadest of times when the New York Giants are winning 2 games, 3 games, 4 games every year. And throughout the offseason, you guys continue to tune in. You guys continue to support both of us. Of course I couldn't do it without Baddog, but even more importantly, we can't do it without you guys. So, I want to say thank you to each and every one of the, the people that are watching this live stream, whether it's live, whether it's pre-recorded. And we got a big game coming up against the Philadelphia Eagles.
We do indeed. Nick DeWick, thanks for super chat, buddy. Brilly. He says, cheers 100, appreciate it. John Silva, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, stand up. Also, thanks for both of you guys being best Giants content creators and fans. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that very much. And yes, big game. Philadelphia. I hate Philadelphia. I ever tell you that I hate the Eagles?
Have I ever told you that I can't stand the Eagles? We're going to clip the wings this week, though. I feel it. They've beaten us the last 8 times we've played. They've beaten us 20 out of the last 24. We played them really tough the first time. We had an 11-point lead with about 5 minutes to go. They're definitely more healthy. They've gotten some of their pieces back. Miles Sanders definitely going to be a pain in the ass back there. Boston Scott tears us up enough. But if the New York Giants continue to do what they've done the last 4, 5, 6 weeks, there's no reason to think that we can't be in this football game. And it's going to come down to the turnover battle, kind of what you said in my video on the comment that you left. You win the turnover battle and you're in this game. You can win this football game. The Giants have run for over 100 yards each of the last 4 contests. You do that again, you control the clock. You limit turnover possibilities for Daniel Jones. There's no reason to think we can't win this game. The Eagles have given up 32 sacks this year. We know that Carson Wentz is prone to turning the football over, especially this year. And the Giants, they've created 15 turnovers this year. Last year they created 16 the entire year. We're one off from that. The defense has been unpredictable. They've been aggressive. I expect them to come out aggressive in this game with a banged-up offensive line for the Eagles. And having a turnover-prone quarterback in Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that, I think people underestimate the Giants' defense. It's been inconsistent. I mean, the big problem with the Giants' defense is they give up the big play. And we've seen that. We saw it against the Rams. We saw it against the Cowboys. We saw it against the Eagles. Inevitably, they end up costing us games at the most inopportune times. Boston Scott's killed us. Miles Sanders don't really worry me. The Giants are fifth in the league in defensive yards per carry. The opponents average 3.7 yards a carry. They're fifth in the league. So I remember when I was on Philly's channel, somebody said Miles Sanders got 12 carries, 90 yards. I said, where are you getting this from? The Giants' defensive line has been stout, and they've been really good against the run ever since last year when we got Leonard Williams. And Leonard Williams has played really well. So them getting healthy, honestly, Alshon Jeffrey does not scare me. I don't think he's any better than Travis Fulgham. Dallas Goedert may be a pain. If he plays, that's a guy that could be a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We struggle there. He's a very good tight end. But like you said, the Eagles have given up a lot of sacks. We're top 7 in sacks, I believe. We might have even moved up after the watch.
I think we dropped a little bit, actually. We only had 2 last week, but we're still above league average.
Right. So,
yeah, I'm in complete agreement with you. There's no reason to think we can't compete in this game, and it's going to come down to the trenches. The offensive line also, in terms of pass protection, has gotten much better. Andrew Thomas has taken strides. We'll see what they do with the guard spot. They've talked about potentially doing the same thing they did at the tackle. Now that Will Hernandez is back, they're going to try to substitute some guys in and out. We'll see how it all works out, but it's going to come down to pass protection. It's going to come down to establishing the run. The same thing we say every single week. And the Giants have been averaging 27 carries a game over the last 6 contests. And I think that goes a long way as to curing Daniel Jones' fumbling problems. Daniel Jones this year, and I'm not saying he's been good. He's definitely been disappointing. We were expecting more at this point in the year. I'm hoping he gets better over these last 7 games. He's only lost 2 fumbles this entire year. Right. And one of them basically was a Hail Mary play at the end of the game against the Eagles when there was 15 seconds left and he had the ball on his own 25-yard line after Evan Ingram dropped the ball. So he's waiting for his receivers to get down the field, and the Giants couldn't hold up a block. So I don't really put that fumble on him. And the other lost fumble was
definitely wasn't him.
The Andrew Thomas, where he completely blew the block and he got blindsided. Right. Yep. So he's been much better in that aspect. And I think a major reason for that is the fact that we're running a lot more. When you run a lot more, you're not putting the ball in harm's way in terms of fumbling the football. Right. So I think the Giants need to continue to hit home with that.
I agree. John, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my man. He says they beat us 8 times. DJ's jersey's number 8. I don't think they get 9 wins. Let's clip some wings. I'm in agreement, without a doubt. Jake Schnetzer, thanks for the super chat, brother. Brilly, congrats to 100 episodes. Thanks for what you do. No, thank you guys for what you do. I mean, that's really what's important. I mean, we just talk. You guys, listen, man. There's a lot of shows on YouTube. The fact that you choose ours, I mean, it means the world to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yuri, thanks for the super chat, brother. Brilly says Colin Cowherd said the Giants will beat the Eagles. Oh, Colin's right. Listen, man. There's no reason to think we can't. Like Chris said, we should be in this game the whole time. I don't think the Eagles are a much better team than us. Oh, one thing I wanted to touch on about Daniel Jones. Now, this doesn't show up in the box score at any point. But when the corner blitz came off on his blind side against Washington and he did not fumble, that was
the play of the game.
Huge.
That was the play of the game.
Not fumble. Right, because then they had to, we had to whatever. I think we punted the ball away and they had to deep in their own territory. But that was enormous. That he did not give up the ball right there. Oh, no, we did punt it, and Alex went through the interception. If he fumbles there, they're pretty much on field goal range.
DJ last year fumbles that ball. There's Absolutely. No doubt about it. He could, that guy was there within 2 seconds. He completely leveled him from behind. That was a big part of that game. The other thing, and I know it's Washington, and people aren't going to get on board with Jones yet, and I get that. We got to see him do it against better opponents, whether it be the Eagles. The Bengals aren't that good, but we're definitely playing some good teams down the stretch. Right. People are going to want to see him do it against teams like the Seahawks and the Ravens and so on and so forth. But the other thing that I really liked in this game, in the first half, there was a lot, like you say every week, you want to see them use his legs more. There was a lot of designed rollout plays for Daniel Jones. Yes. That helped open up in the passing game. And I thought that he checked it down more. He was more efficient, especially in that first half. There was a number of checkdowns in that game, and I was excited to see it. I want to see more of that out of Daniel Jones. I want him to be more efficient, play within his game. Don't try to force the ball into tight windows. And some people might say they don't want a game manager, but at the end of the day, a game manager is what is best for this team this year. We don't have a ton of weapons, and as much as I like our defense, we still don't have a great defense. We're not a team that's equipped to get into shootouts and win football games. I think we are best suited to have a game manager with this football team.
Right, I agree. And I've been saying all year, he doesn't need to be Russell Wilson. He don't need to give me 360 and 4 touchdowns. Give me 22 for 30 for 240 yards and a touchdown. Well, he pretty much was that. 23 for 34, I think 215 and a touchdown, no turnovers. You can live with that because the Giants defense is good enough, in my opinion, to hold us in these games. And if we're not losing the turnover battle, we could be winning these games because the defense pretty much holds teams, it seems like, around 20 points. And we should be able to score more than 20 when we're not turning the ball over. Defense will get taxed and tired at the end of the game if their offense, the opposing offense continues to get extra possessions. So the fact that Daniel Jones did not turn over, it still kind of concerns me that we got 5 turnovers, didn't turn over once, we won by 3. I don't know what was going on there. But at the end of the day, the Giants seem to drive the ball down the field. We got to get more touchdowns. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, Graham Gano kicked 3 field goals. He's been amazing this year, but 166 yards against that Washington front 7, which is pretty stout. I mean, I know Chase Young hasn't had a lot of sacks, but he's still really good. Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan, they're all pretty good up front. We dominated, and we dominated against Tampa. I mean,
we had 130 yards rushing in the first half.
Right.
I think what really stood out in this game to me, one, and I don't like to bash the coaching staff. Overall, I think they've done a really good job. I don't think they made great adjustments in the second half. And I thought Isaac Yiadom just got absolutely cooked. And that was the equalizer in this game. Even though Washington turned it over as many times as they did, they were able to hit huge plays, which kept them in this football game.
That's what kills us every week at the end of the games, or before the half, is these big plays. And we seem like we just I don't know what it is. It's almost like they have a letdown for a second, and they can't have that. Speaking of Eagles fans, John Letourneau is in the house. Thank you for super chat, brother. Brilly, he's been supporting us pretty much since day one of this show. He says, "Stella and stand up." He says, "Up Tainah, love you guys, but Baddog and Chris, my Eagles need to win so bad, can be pissed again, wanting to leave stream."
We're gonna have to be. We love you, John. We're gonna have to knock you out this week.
We gotta beat you.
We're gonna have to knock you out this week. I see a bunch of people in the chat saying Baker is innocent, unless something just came out. There was something on Twitter, and somebody just super chatted. There was something on Twitter hours ago. Not that he was innocent, that people were recanting their testimony, the witnesses. Now maybe something else came out, and I'm gonna check that right now. Let me go on Twitter. Maybe something else came out just now, but what I heard a couple hours ago wasn't that he was ruled innocent. It was that that there's been a mix-up with the witnesses. But I'll take a look.
But didn't this happen when it initially happened too?
Yeah, this is now the second time.
Yeah. Well, Cool Rodri, thank you for the super chat. Really, he says Baker's innocent. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. Regardless if DeAndre Baker's innocent or not, he will never be a Giant again. They will not. They're not going to put him on his team. It doesn't matter. He's done. I mean, if they're going to cut Plaxico Burress for shooting himself in the leg, but he didn't harm anybody. Obviously, not carrying a concealed weapon there. But obviously, if they were going to get rid of him for that, he didn't do anything to anybody else. DeAndre Baker is not going to be part of this team. He ruined it. I mean,
I was going to say, even if he's ruled innocent, which we don't know yet, and maybe there's not enough evidence, or maybe he didn't do anything. The Giants already cut him. They're not bringing him back. They're not bringing DeAndre. Every team in the league is going to have an opportunity to bring him in now.
I agree. Joseph, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Brilly says, "I'm dreaming of going into the bye with a win against the Eagles." Aren't we all? Man, to me, Chris, I've been waiting so long. It's funny. Philly 500 like, you didn't do a video saying you were going to beat us this year because it kind of worries me. I told him last night, I said, Kyle Pitts is going to end up with that belt because we're winning this game. And I don't know, man. There's just in the 2-7 season, it's weird to say. I just have a good feeling about this team. Like I don't know if it's the coaching, it's the way they play for each other. Like they're fighters. We don't have a lot of talent. We're obviously short at corner still, linebacker, edge rusher, probably use a little extra on the offensive line. Definitely number one wide receiver away. And 2-7 doesn't sound, but they're fighters, and that's really all you want as New Yorkers, or as a New York team. That's what you want. We loved the Knicks; they never won a championship, but we love those '90s Knicks because they fought, and that's all you can ask for. You got to ask for effort. New Yorkers can respect effort. That's all we ask.
Listen, man. The last 6 weeks, the New York Giants are -10 overall in the plus minus. And that's going up again. And their wins haven't been by a lot. So it's not like that's offset the plus minus. They beat Washington, I think, by 3 points and 1 point. Was not a lot combined.
Right.
Less than, whatever it was, like 5-6 points combined, whatever it was. They're -10 over their last 6 games combined, going against teams like the Bucks, going against teams like the Rams. You're talking about good football teams. This team has stood in and played very tough against some very good football teams. The previous 19 games. And the previous 19 games, we were -150. And if you go back to last year, you look at some of the good teams we played, we lost by double digits in every single game.
Right.
We're sticking with good football teams. This is a much different Giants football team. I know the record doesn't say it, but this team is much more competitive, and we're starting to turn the corner.
Lucas, man, brother, thank you so much, man. Cheers to you, sir. Really appreciate that. From down under in Australia, I really, really appreciate it, man. He says 100 for 100. Congrats to you both. I love tuning in, and thanks for great work. Quick question. Looking at DJ in his interviews, is it me, or does it look like he's trying to hold in a fart? It is weird. He's got like the Eli face. Eli always had that. I don't even know what the look is. I don't even know what the – but, yeah, I don't know. It's just – he's Eli's kid. We know that.
Well, Lucas, man, he always supports me on my channel as well, man. Thank you for being a great supporter for both of us. Thank you for tuning in, man. And, yeah, Dan Jones definitely looks like he's pinching the loaf a little bit.
He could be. Maybe he gets hit a little hard. You got to take a dump, Stay together, cheeks. Stay together.
Thank you for tuning in, Lucas. Appreciate it, man.
Big Bang. Thanks for super chat, brother. Brilly says this is the week. Gettleman. Gettleman. Listen to me. What's in here? This is the week. Gentlemen, Philly streak ends. I hope so. man.
I definitely hope so. And, let's talk a little bit about Gettleman. I didn't hear people in my Discord, I think, told me, maybe it wasn't my Discord, maybe it was people in my comments on YouTube, told me that you're starting to think Gettleman's going to stay. I'm starting to agree with you. If the Giants win a couple of these games here, you look at this roster right now, the way Leonard Williams is playing. The 3 best players on this defense were guys he's fully responsible for bringing in. James Bradbury, Martinez, and Williams. The defense is playing much better. And if Daniel Jones improves over these last 7 games, Dave Gettleman's going to be our GM in 2021. I fully believe that. Not
to mention, I did a video on Andrew Thomas today. He's playing a lot better. Matt Parrott's looked okay. Like, the offensive line is starting to gel a little bit, and they're starting to really run the ball without Saquon Barkley. And the fact that they've been competitive in all these games, there is a good possibility that Gettleman does stay, even if the Giants lose the rest of their games, but they're competitive. Against a very tough schedule with a first-year head coach, there is a possibility he comes back. I know we've talked about this on the show before. This is the best offseason Gettleman's had since he's been here.
It's not even close.
Drafting and defense. We haven't even seen Xavier McKinney.
And when I hear the people that hate – and I get it. I get why people don't like Gettleman. But when I hear the people that don't like Gettleman, they credit Judge. And at the end of the day, I say to them, who cares? If it worked, why are we going to break that up another year if we like the results and how the offseason went? And we'll see how it goes next year. And I love this offseason. And like you said, Andrew Thomas is starting to show signs. And the reason that I put my hands up in the air on Gettleman 4 or 5 weeks in was because of the performance of the offensive line. Not just Andrew Thomas, but the line in general. That was his mission statement when he took the job. Well, what's looked a lot better over the last 3 or 4 weeks? It's been the offensive line. If they could close out the season playing well, this defense continues to do what they did over the first half into the second, and Jones progresses, I think he's coming back.
Yeah. Let me get some of these super chats. L.A. Lou, Brilly. Laker Dog coming in about a month, L.A. Lou. He says, I picked the Giants to win this game, but I'm conflicted. I'm not a big Cop Pizzle fan. I don't want to see Philly lose the belt to that guy. I just want to listen, Philly 500 made his own bed with that one. That's he dug his grave with that one. So he's got the lion. I told Philly 500 last night, I said, no one cop the way I do. He probably already has a case for the belt. You have the display case for like a championship belt for like the boxer. I guarantee you, if he doesn't, he's going to get one. He's going to get a nice table. He's going to have a light on it, and he's going to have that display case. And just every time he does a video, he's going to have – if he's not wearing it around his shoulder or something, he's going to be displaying it proudly. And he should. He should.
Since I've been on YouTube, I've seen Cop Pizzle make a lot of bets. I haven't seen him win one.
He's winning.
Hopefully this is the first one.
He's due.
Yeah.
You know, Peter, well, you know why? It's because he bets on the Giants, and we haven't won much. That's why. Peter, thanks for the super chat, brother. One of our best. Really, my man. He says, we're 0-8 against these dirtbags. I want the win and the win only. A really good effort will do nothing for me. And yes, DJ needs to get some personality ASAP. I'm with you, Peter. I'm sick of.
I don't care about the personality. People said the same thing about Eli Manning.
No, I'm saying about the Eagles. I don't care
about the Eagles. 100%.
Yeah, the Eagles.
In terms about the personality, I heard that about Eli Manning his entire career until he won a Super Bowl. I could care less about the personality.
Yeah, no, he's saying a good effort will do nothing for him. Got to win. I agree.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Game,
I don't care about the personality. We got enough personalities on it. You and I got personality.
Yeah,
that's good enough. Yeah. Walk personality. Talk. You're the singer. Super chat. Really. He says, Eagles flying to a dumpster. And he says, I'm no delusional fan of all of our teams stink. I know injuries are no excuse, but they're a reality. That's why the NFC has suffered. We have all suffered some big injuries.
You know what it is, though? I'd have to look at every team. But in a season like this, I think if you were a fan of any team, you should have expected more injuries this year with the shortened preseason. Guys weren't used to getting, contact and everything else. So it's why, especially in a year like this, I'm not using injuries as an excuse because I think most teams are suffering from injuries.
Yeah. But Dak's out. The Eagles lost their offensive line before the year started. We lost Saquon Barkley.
We've been loaded with injuries throughout the division. No doubt about it.
Thanks for super chat, brother. Really. Let's go, boys. Let's get a dub this Sunday. I'm down for that.
I'm with you, my man.
I might actually have to drink beer. I'm serious. I mean, I haven't drank beer in like 2 weeks because, again, I'm getting on the strict diet. I've already started recording videos for that channel that I'm going to put out in like a couple of weeks.
Oh, I saw that. I saw it in your community notes, yeah.
Yeah, I've already started recording a couple of things for that. Just, kind of just a couple of sets. I'm not going to be recording an entire workout session. That takes an hour and a half, and who the hell is going to film that? Zach, thank you for the super chat. Really. I did like today. They're killing me. He says, I feel like this team is the 07 Giants. I think team is going to going on a run, everyone counting the Giants out, and they shocked the world that year. The defense was a little better in 07. The running.
Get your hopes up, Zach.
Better
in
the
your hopes up.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not saying that we can't go on a run and win this division. That's possible, but don't get your hopes up. This is not a Super Bowl roster, not yet.
This team, though, could turn into the 07 Giants in future.
In the future, I agree. Yeah. Not this year.
I hope so. I mean,
I would love that, but realistically speaking, I'm not back there.
Let's beat the Eagles. Baby steps.
Yeah.
Beat that damn team. And then we can. I still stand by we're the best team in this division. I still stand by that. That's fair to at least say that that's a possibility that we could be, but that's kind of like looking at a group of girls that are all threes and pointing out the one that's the best one. Yeah, I said it's like we're the shiniest turd of the bunch. We're the most polished turd out of everybody.
Yeah,
dumpster fire of a division. There's no doubt about that. Peter, thanks for super chat, brother. Really, says Gettleman hit on a number of guys. Good for him. But looking at his health in a bad few years, I'd like to see him retire, make ways for Caserio, who seems to want to be here. I mean, listen, it's a fair point.
I mean, yeah, if you could bring if Gettleman could definitely retire this year. I'm not ruling that out either. And if Caserio wants the job, I think he's the most he's the guy who makes the most sense because of his ties to Joe Judge. So I wouldn't be upset with that. But right now, I think it's at least 50% Gettleman's coming back if he's not retiring.
I think it could be more than that with the way they're playing, honestly. And Christopher, thank you for the super chat. Just what he says. Hi.
Hi to you, Andrew, man. Great supporter of both of us. Thank you, everybody.
And Hans the Human Knockwurst, one of my favorite names right there. Brilly, my man. Thank you for the super chat. He says, we got this. All intangibles point G-Men. Cop Bizzle. Cop going to wear that belt, going to look good on Cop Bizzle.
I hope he gets it, man. I mean, he's going to get it. Let's be optimistic.
Well, listen, you know what? It'll be great because it kills two birds with one stone. You see, not only is Philly embarrassed and the Eagles lose to the Giants, but see, then Mark Holmes, the Cowboy fan, also loses because he lost the belt. So Cop really is taking two birds out.
He's taking it from Philly 500, and he's taking Mark Holmes' son's belt.
Exactly. So
it
doesn't matter how many bets Cop Bizzle's lost. He wins this bet. It makes up for everything. I'm pulling for him.
He loses this bet, though. He may lose his channel.
Yeah, listen, man. I know Cop, bet big or go home, baby. That's his money. He's got no fear. I give him credit for that. Philly's Ace, thanks for super chat, brother. Brilly says, you guys' thoughts on Travis Fulgham? Greg Ward can be starting receivers moving forward. and to take over for Jackson Alshon Jeffrey. Not sure about Greg Ward. I do like Fulgham, though.
I mean, Fulgham's been really good for them. He's got almost 500 yards. I don't get to watch him every week, but, I mean, he's obviously been very productive. Former sixth-round pick. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe he will turn into a number one for you guys. And, that would be appropriate for you guys because you guys have missed on so many first-round picks at the wide receiver position. Now you get a guy that I think he was on two of the teams before the Eagles that they cut and released, and then he comes there and he becomes your one. Who knows? Right. Maybe he does become that. Jeffrey sucks. I think Deshaun Jackson's over the hill. So, yeah, I think out of everybody on your team, the guy that scares me the most right now is Fulgham.
Hot take right here. Travis Fulgham will be better than Jalen Reagor in his career.
Yeah, I might agree with that. I mean, very possible.
I had a guy, Chris, today, because I told him when the live stream last night, I told Philly 500, Reagor's not going to be any good. He's like, well, he was hurt. I said, yes, because he's a Big 12 guy and they don't get hit in the Big 12. So they run it down the free. When they get hit, they're not used to it. So the guy tried to tell me your take is way off on that. He's third in yards per catch for rookies. I said, buddy, he's got 8 catches this year, okay? And you take the 55-yard catch away from him, he's averaging less than 7 yards reception. Your take is bad. Don't get me this. Listen, I may miss on a lot of things, but I know the Big 12 pretty well, and usually what I say about those players usually ends up being pretty true. Now, I'm going to miss. I'm not perfect. I mean, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think Jalen Reagor is going to be good. I thought Justin Jefferson was the better receiver. He's proven to be so far. I told the Jets man.
Justin Jefferson's he's a Pro Bowler this year so far. Yeah.
We didn't like him. Philly said he was ass. He didn't want Justin Jefferson. I remember that one.
He's got like 600 yards in like 7 games.
Funny. I just remember that when the Cowboys got to see that, I was like, I don't want Justin Jefferson in his ass. I just remember that. Great, Chris. Wasn't it great?
Yeah, that was a great night.
Eagle fans turned to us from 2019. Go to the next year Super Chat. Really? This is a 20 draft. Looking so far, and no McKinney yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing Xavier McKinney.
Let's talk about the 20 draft real quick.
Yeah.
The way that Perich looked, and it's been limited time, but the way that Thomas has looked over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and our expectations going in, I think he's going to be the tackle going forward. You could have both of your tackles for the next 10 years on this team from that draft. That is very possible. In addition to that, Darnay Holmes, I saw a stat today, I don't remember if it was I think he's either the only slot corner or the only rookie. I can't remember that has had over 15 targets thrown his way that has not given up a touchdown or something like that. Maybe it was in the red zone, whatever it was. Darnay Holmes has been pretty good, and he's been getting better over the course of the weeks. You've seen them use him more. Like he said, we haven't seen McKinney yet. Shane Lemieux played decently, at least, for a 5th-round pick. So far, and this wasn't a flashy draft. We knew that after the draft. We knew this was a nuts and bolts draft. We knew that this was a forward-thinking draft. It wasn't going to be these flashy players, and it wasn't going to have the hugest impact the first year. It was more so the next 5 to 10 years. But so far, you're starting to see this offensive line take shape, and a lot of it has to do with the rookies. Not
to mention, Tate Crowder's been in there. He also performed. Tate Crowder's played pretty well. That was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the draft.
How about the undrafted free agent wide receiver last week?
Yeah, exactly. Austin Mack.
Austin Mack.
Yeah.
And how about, you know what? Let's continue to praise Gettleman. Every New York Giants fan, myself included, when we needed a kicker, we wanted Steven Gostkowski. How's he doing?
Yeah.
Guys missed like 8 kicks. How's Graham Gano doing?
He's been the best in the business.
He's the best kicker in football.
We're lucky Rosas got can't. That helped.
Graham Gano's been phenomenal this year.
I can't believe Graham Gano was out there. I'll never get Graham.
I think he's come back from an injury.
Yeah, but still, he made me drop dead. I'll never. Riggs and thank you for the super chat, brother. He's been with us forever. Brilliant, my man. Honestly, we 6 close games. Just imagine. Oh, I know. If we could, legitimately, Giants should be. I'm not even saying could be. Should be 5-4. Should be 5-4. Shouldn't have lost to Dallas. Shouldn't have lost to Tampa Bay. Shouldn't have lost to Philadelphia.
I'm sick of saying should you, though. Should have.
I know. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts every day. Because
But the way I look at this season, obviously you always look at the record, but it was more so about the way that we played. I didn't go in with huge expectations. And the fact of the matter is this team has gotten a lot better from the start of the season. And as long as they continue to progress and get better, even if we win 4 games, like you said, as long as we continue to get better over the course of the year, we see this defense continue to develop, the offensive line continue to develop, and Daniel Jones becomes a smarter quarterback over these last 7 games. That's what I'm looking at. Of course, I want to make the playoffs. Of course, I want to beat the Eagles.
Right.
But, the end game this year for me is having an identity going into the 2021 season, showing progress, and knowing that we have a bright future with this football team. And so far, I believe in that through 9 games.
I just read a comment that someone said, I've never heard anyone say Jalen Reagor's not going to be good. You heard it here first. You should have heard it on draft night. I said it on draft night. I said Denzel Mims wouldn't be good. I said Josh Doxson wouldn't be good. I know this. I said Ryan Broyles, who played at Oklahoma, wouldn't be good back in the day. Trust me. I know Big 12 receivers. Unless you're Des Bryant or CeeDee Lamb and you have an extraordinary skill set, you will not be good in the NFL. They do not play defense. There are not players getting taken out of Oklahoma or TCU or Texas or whatever on a regular basis that are number 1 picks in the draft out of the secondary. It's not happening. It's not happening. Comrade Dog, that's my brother. Brilly, he says, did you guys play football as a kid? And if so, what position?
I didn't play in high school. I played for about 2 or 3 years when I was younger, from like 12 to like 14. But I didn't play in high school. I played baseball in high school.
I played until I broke my ankle in 11th grade and cracked the growth plate, which is why I'm not 6'2", which is what I should have been. So my hands and feet are so massive for my frame, but it is what it is. One thing I want to say, I was a cornerback and wide receiver. I was a track.
So was I. I was a corner and wide receiver too.
I mean, when you're 5'11", 6 foot tall, and you're 125 pounds like I was back then and could fly, that's what you did. But just seeing Comrade Dog being from, I don't know if that's London or where he is overseas, because those are pounds. The overseas support of these channels is unbelievable. The guys in London, the UK, Australia,
it's all over.
Germany, it's unbelievable how this is.
New Zealand, I got some. Italy, we got some. They're all over.
And that's unbelievable. We really, really appreciate that.
Ireland.
What's that?
Ireland, everywhere.
Ireland, Japan, Hong Kong. Sonny Anna's from Hong Kong.
Mexico.
Right. I mean, it's just it's awesome. And the other thing I want to say before I get to these other super chats is, this to me, this is the biggest compliment somebody can pay us, is that there's so many guys in here that are in here on a regular basis that are Eagle fans, like Johnny Letourneau, or they're Cowboy fans, like Zeke fans always in here, or they're Washington fans. They're rivals of the Giants, and they don't like the Giants, but they're in here. And it's not just them. I mean, it's other teams. I saw a Steelers fan. He was like, I'm not a Giants fan, but L.A. Lou, he's a Rams.
Kristaps Porzingis is a fan of like 20 teams. He's in.
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly. So he's representing everybody. I kind of not the other night, Chris. It was pretty funny.
I heard you kicked him out of your stream or something like that.
Because he's a mod, and I still time him out. He kept spamming. He's like, I subscribed to you April 5th, 2019. So like 10 times. I said, what are you doing? I said, you get timed out for spamming. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I can't. Is Benjamin in there? I knew Benjamin would like it. Corey B, thank you for super chat. Brilly. He says, what up, fellas? Let's go Big Blue. You damn.
What's going on, Corey B, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy.
L.A. Lou. Brilly. Congratulations on your Dodgers winning the World Series again, by the way. He says, what kind of contract does Fleming have? Was it 2 years?
I think it was one. Okay. I'm almost if it is 2, they have the ability to get after 1, but I'm almost positive it's 1.
He says, I think the G-men should go with Parrott at right tackle and try Hernandez at right guard. Start the future now. Do you think?
Yeah, I think you might see that. I don't think you're going to see it full time. I think you're going to see musical chairs. I think you're going to see Zeitler definitely play. But I think you will see Zeitler on the bench at times with both rookies in there at the same time. Hernandez isn't a rookie, but both young guards in there at the same time. I expect to see that. And maybe they will put Hernandez on the right side, because a lot of people seem to think it's possibly struggles next to Thomas. When I watch the game, and I'm not a professional guy who breaks down film, I try to analyze things and give my opinion on things. Just watching the game, in passing situations, I thought Lemieux actually really struggled last week. I thought I didn't like the way that he played last week in terms of passing. The run blocking, he was good. So we'll see. We'll see what the New York Giants decide to do. But I do think they'll find a way to get Lemieux in the lineup. Maybe not, maybe 35, 40% of the snaps, kind of like Parrott. But they're going to get Lemieux in the lineup. I agree.
And that'll also keep them fresh. If you can rotate them and not lose a lot, especially in the running game, which I think is what Daniel Jones and the Giants need to be effective. Because, again, that sets up the RPO. It sets up everything. I say it all the time. Everything's predicated off the run. The Giants have run the ball really well the last few games. And, the Eagles are very aggressive. So this is when you run the ball a little bit, and then you mix in you throw in those misdirection plays, which is why Daniel Jones had an 80-yard run. for the 20-yard line, made an incredible touchdown saving tackle. That's there. So I like it. I like what Joe Judge is doing, and I think, like I said, the offensive line coming together is huge for this team.
That to me was the most important thing, other than Daniel Jones, of course. The offensive line was the thing I was looking for most this year, and that is what I'm most encouraged by. This is the best offensive line play we've seen since the second half of 2018. The second half of 2018, the offensive line came together as well, and then it kind of fell apart when they lost a lot of the guys from that offensive line. But it looks so much better than any time last year.
That's right. Riley, thanks for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my man, he says, what up? You think Crowder will be middle linebacker too? I don't know. He'd have to really stand out.
I hope so. I mean, when Crowder played, he was starting there for a bit before he got hurt. Now he's coming off the IR. I don't know. It might be a bit of a rotation. I'd like to see Crowder out there though, because I personally would rather see him than Downs. I think Crowder's probably our best coverage linebacker, as crazy as that may sound. And I think you're going to need it in a game like this. Like we were just talking about Goddard. I would like to see Crowder out there, at least in passing situations.
It's kind of where I wish McKinney was there. I think that could have been a big help in this game. Lucas says New Zealander living in Australia. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I just think to me, that's so cool. And here's a country that we forgot. I don't know how. Subo, thank you for the super chat. Friend up north. Really, mommy says Gettleman's 2020 draft looks good. 2019-18, not so much. Don't know if I trust the 2021 draft, especially since we may be short of picks. And that's fair. A lot of guys have not succeeded from those drafts. Slayton looks like he's pretty good. Barkley, obviously, world of talent, always hurt.
He got hurt. Lawrence has been pretty good. Baker, obviously, horrible luck.
DK Metcalf instead.
Yeah, obviously we should have taken DK Metcalf. Listen, you're going to have hits and misses with any GM. He's not perfect. I'm not telling you he is. I'm not even telling you he's a great GM, but we'll see. I thought this year they had a really good offseason, and to me, it was kind of collaborative. I thought Joe Judge had just as much to say in the draft picks as well as the free agents, so I wouldn't mind that dynamic again. I thought they had a really good offseason.
Comrade Dog, thank you for super chat, brother. Brilly, he says he's from Scotland. That's awesome. Visited by before, man. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. That's Scotland. That's freaking awesome. Don't get a lot of Scots up in here, so that's cool, man. I like I said, one of my favorite things about the Lakers streams is just seeing where everybody's from. So the fact that the Giant, the football is not as popular as basketball is overseas. So the fact that we have so many guys out of the country that watch the show, I mean, it's in the games with us. That's awesome. I love it. I think it's the coolest thing to see where everybody's from. Demon, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, just dropped. I was 5'7" and 140 in high school. Couldn't catch, couldn't run. So I raced motocross. Sub guys beat the damn Eagles. So he's kind of a small. Demon L is telling me he's kind of a smaller version of Evan Ingram. So maybe Ingram should look into motocross.
Yeah, that maybe he'd be best suited at that. He certainly can't catch the football. But Demon, man, thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate it. Great supporter of both of ours. But yeah, Evan Ingram obviously had the great catch last week. But outside of that, he had the great touchdown. But outside of that, he had I think he had 3 drops. He had a bunch of crucial drops in that game.
He almost ended up making an interception because he kept batting the ball up in the air.
But the bobbling of the ball, he dropped the deep pass by Jones on that drive where Jones was able to get the I think it was a 3rd and 5 where he was able to get them on the hard count. He got them to jump. They got the first down. And then Ingram dropped the deep pass, which would have gotten him in field goal range. He had a couple of big drops in that game.
Yeah, the one that hit him right in the face. Yeah. I actually thought that was the way that got deflected, I actually thought the defender was there. I thought the defender knocked it away until I saw the replay. And I'm like, that ball hit him right in the face. I go, that was a perfect throw.
Yeah. He sucks.
Johnny, thank you for super chat. Brilly says, Baddog, Chris, you guys, I watch you guys more than Eagles content creators. That's why it hurts so much that you're Giants fans. Ingram has no hands. We appreciate it, Johnny. We do, buddy. You're the man. It hurts us that you're an Eagle fan. Listen, you're always welcome to jump ship.
You get 3 more Super Bowls if you come over here, John.
It's true. And you're going to get 3 more before the Eagles win another one, John.
4 more.
I'll take it. I'll take 1 more at this point. Just give me a winning season. Give me a 500 record. Christian, thank you for the super chat. Really, man. Let's say Andrew Thomas performs well for the rest of the season. If the Giants have a chance to draft Penei Sewell, do they take it? Happy 100. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Chris, I'll let you answer that because I'm kind of torn. as to what they do with.
You know what? I don't think we're gonna have an opportunity to take Penny Sewell. I honestly believe that. I think Sewell's going in the first 2 or 3 picks, and I don't think we're gonna be that bad. I think we're gonna be picking early. I don't think we're gonna win the division, but I don't think we're gonna be picking top 4. I think we could be 5, 6, 7, and by that point, I don't think Penny Sewell is gonna be on the board. Now, if the Giants are picking second, which I don't think is gonna be the case, I think you're looking at Jets. I think you're looking at Jaguars. But if the Giants are picking second, that's when you start to entertain Sewell, because we talk about generational quarterback prospects. That's exactly what Penny Sewell is for a tackle. I mean, as good as Andrew Thomas in this tackle class was, this guy's leaps and bounds above those guys, at least as a prospect. So you have to at least think about it. But in my opinion, the Giants' best interest, if they feel that Parrott is a bright part of the future, I would much rather trade down. I wouldn't cry if they took Penny Sewell based off of what everyone says about the guy, because to me, and everybody's different. In my opinion, when I'm picking top 5, I'm looking at 3 positions, unless there is a guy that absolutely blows me away. But I strongly believe in positional value. And if I'm picking a top 4 or 5, I'm looking at a quarterback. I'm looking at a guy that can get after the quarterback. I'm looking at a guy that can protect the quarterback at the tackle position. Right. And if not that, a lockdown corner would probably be my 4th option. But I'm not really looking at any other positions if I was a GM. And Penny Sewell is that talented. I can understand them taking him there. But if you believe in Parrott, I think you're much better suited to trade down for a team looking maybe to come up and get a quarterback.
I think it depends on where the Giants draft. Like Chris says, if we're picking second, to me, I don't know if I go with Sewell there. I look to trade back. Somebody wants Justin Fields. That's going to be a thing. I think that the Giants, obviously, they would miss out on Penny Sewell. That was depending on who's picking. I mean, we might be able to move back to 5. We may be able to do what the Colts did and get a Sewell there and still get draft picks. You never know. It depends on who wants to move up into the quarterback. I think if we're picking 5th, I don't see a problem with that. I don't like taking wide receivers that early in the draft because they're luxury positions, and you do build from the inside out, which is what Gettleman started to do. And that is why the offensive line is starting to get better. It certainly wouldn't help to have another guy. I mean, Dallas did it for years. And although they couldn't win a Super Bowl, they were a very good team with Tyron Smith and Zach Martin and Travis Frederick, and they weren't the sexiest picks. But
they beat us both times that year. They're a 15-1 team.
Yeah,
they definitely had success the way they built that team.
By the way, I just want to say real quick, we got 556 in the house for episode 100. Thank you guys so much for being here. Do us a favor. Smash that thumbs up button. It helps out the stream. Always helps out the YouTube algorithm. So that's why we ask for the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, go into the description. If you're not, sub up the Entertaining Talking Sports. We'll be on his channel Sunday for the Eagles and Giants. You ain't going to want to miss it. That's going to be the stream of the year. You ain't going to want to miss that one.
We got to get a win this week. We got to get a W this week. And I'll be doing I didn't get to do it last week. I'm hoping my computer works tomorrow. I'll have some of you guys on the channel. We'll talk about it. But, yeah, we'll definitely be doing that game Sunday, and it's a game I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping that we're able to finally clip these wings, Baddog.
Yeah, oh, hell yes. Please. Yeah, you're going to want to miss it. Ian, we got time today for Super Chat, buddy. Brilly says no margaritas this Sunday. Love you guys. Yeah, we love you too, buddy. You've been with us for a long time, too.
Another great supporter, man. Thank you for being here, buddy.
He knows we're going to win. That's why. Number 1 is in the house. Mike Dupp, Mike Zorn, Mike Francesa, Brilly, my favorite radio personality. He says, why do some people think Judge loves Jones? He won't say anything but positive. About his QB in the media. We don't know his true view of DJ. He won't say anything.
I mean, I agree with that. I think he likes Jones. I think he took the job knowing that Jones was going to be his quarterback. So I think he had to have some kind of liking for Jones. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken the job. He knew that Jones was going to be his quarterback coming in, at least for his first year. So I think he likes him in some way, shape, or form. But I agree with you, Mike, that he definitely – and, Mike, we love you, buddy. We do. We knew we don't know how much he loves the guy because he wasn't part of the decision-making process for drafting Daniel Jones. I think he viewed him as a guy that could be a good quarterback prospect, though, in my opinion. Otherwise, he probably would not – have signed on with this job with the New York Giants. Right.
And he probably would not, he was involved in our draft picks. He probably wouldn't have addressed the offensive line the way he did either.
Yeah.
If they didn't believe in Daniel Jones. And again, Mike, thank you for the super chat. Really says, with that being said, if we lose Sunday, there's a good chance we finish 3-13. Bengals are no joke, and the rest of the schedule, except for Dallas, is brutal. We could. Seattle's going to be tough.
We could.
Cleveland, I think we can beat Cleveland. I think we give it Cincinnati. Maybe I'm just thinking with my heart, not my head. I told you the Giants.
I'm not taking any week for granted. I think this Giants team could win anywhere from 2, and they could lose out. I'm not picking that. To 6 games. I think 6 is probably the max. Maybe 7 if you want to be the most optimistic fan in the world. I'm picking 4. I think it's going to be 4, 5, or 6. That's where I got the New York Giants. If they want to have any chance to make the playoffs, you got to win the next 2. You can't win this game and then lose to Cincinnati. You have to win the next 2. If you win the next 2, I think it's a 50-50 proposition to go to the playoffs.
Especially off the bye. You cannot lose to Cincinnati off the bye. And I agree. If we're 4-7, we'd be 3-2 in this division. You're right there.
And you look at the Eagles' schedule after us.
Yeah, their schedule is really brutal.
They play the Saints. They play the Packers. They play the Seahawks, I believe. They play 5 really good teams in a row. Cardinals and another one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mikey Dizzy, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, if the Giants go to the playoffs, we will win it all. Can you imagine? I mean, it's a pipe dream, but can you imagine that? How funny would that be? It'd be, you know what? It'd be perfect 2020. It'd be a perfect ending to 2020.
If they won the Super Bowl going 6-10, that would make our previous miracles look like nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd make David Tyree's what was hard? So what's a harder catch? David Tyree's helmet catch or Evan Ingram just catching a fade?
Evan Ingram catching a hander. Evan Ingram catching a pitch is harder than Tyree.
Yeah, he couldn't even do that this year.
We've got to get – you ever see the movie Little Giants?
Yes.
You remember the scene where the kid puts the glue and he claps his hands and he can't get the hand? We got to get glue on Evan Ingram's hands this week. Maybe he could hold on to the football.
He's got to get with Lester Hayes, who used to be big into the stick. We got to get him with Lester. And I still think he would drop it. G-Man Rising, thank you for the super chat. Really says if we finish top 2, it means we lose out on a quarterback. Top 2.
Wait, what was it? I'm sorry. What did he say?
He said if we finish top 2, it means you lose out on a quarterback. We lose out, it's a quarterback. Oh, if we finish top 2, it means we lose out. We're taking.
Yeah, we're not finishing. G-Man, I could be wrong. I don't think we're finishing top 2. I'd be shocked. I looked at the Jaguars' schedule. I think the Jaguars at best win 1 more.
The Jets win any.
What?
The Jets won't win any.
The Jets at most they win 1. I think the earliest the Giants will be picking is 3, and I don't think we're going to be picking that early.
Kalen Dragon, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Brilly says, here's to 100 episodes and 100 more. Brilly. By the time our next 100 rolls around, we're going to be talking Super Bowl.
I sure hope so.
The first 100 have been rough because this team's been bad. But wait till it's good. I say that every week. It's going to be good eventually. I can't wait.
I think next year it's going to start. I think next year it's going to start to get good.
I do too. Yeah. Danny Thomas, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Brilly says thoughts on Tamarian Terry from Florida State. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. And he says, Chris, are you doing any Mets and Knicks during the bye week? Yeah,
well, definitely Knicks, Danny. That's why I started to get a couple of videos up for you guys. The Mets stuff, not so much until, we get to the hot stove, which is probably going to be around Christmas time. The winter meetings, even though I think they canceled it, but that's when we'll probably start to hear rumors about guys they may be bringing in. The Knicks I'll definitely be doing this week because you got the NBA draft. I'm going to be streaming the NBA draft. I'm sure I'll have videos talking about the players that the New York Knicks brought in, and definitely be doing some Knicks content as well as Giants content during the bye week. Not so much Mets stuff. Yeah, I got to do a video on the Yankees. I got to start doing videos on the Yankees anyway. Obviously, DJ LeMahieu, they turned down the qualifying $18 million offer. I don't blame him. Hitting the free agent market. I still think the Yankees are going to re-sign him. Yankees are going to sign him. Obviously, there's talk about Sanchez getting traded. There's a lot to talk about for at least the bye week. Yeah. And then it's not going to be much of anything until them and the Mets go after Trevor Bauer. I don't even think Trevor Bauer is going to either team. I think he's going out west. If I'm going to give, a lot of people seem to think he's going to the Angels. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think he'd be good in New York. Honestly, some guys just aren't built for New York. I don't think he is. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset if the Mets got him. Mike Frances, no, I'm sure you wouldn't. Mikey Frances, thanks for super chat. Really says, I just passed Rikers and saw Carton, and I had a laugh. I don't blame you. All I do is make fun of Francis because they hate him because he's. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I liked Carton on the morning show with Boomer. I don't like him now. When I'm listening, and I don't listen to it that much, but I'll listen to the replay on YouTube once in a while. I'll be driving during that time. I don't like the dynamic between him and Roberts. I don't like Craig Carton on a midday show. I just don't. I think he's more of he's a pure entertainment guy. You don't come to him to get real sports takes, at least in my opinion. And I think entertainment guys belong on that morning show when you're on your way into work and you want to have a couple of laughs. I don't like him in the time slot that he's in.
Yeah. Dave Gettleman's in the house. What's going on, Dave? Brilly says Fisk said if we trade DJ, he wins MVP in 2021. Well, I guess it would depend.
Fisk also said that he was Peyton Manning with legs.
Yeah, Fisk likes Daniel Jones. He said he was, he's Fisk. Fisk has the hottest takes of anybody I know.
I love Fisk, but come on.
Yeah, definitely. I got to work with him again soon. He cracks me up. We disagree on so much. It's hilarious. I love it. No, that's part of the fun. Demon, thank you so much for the super chat. Brilly, my man. He says, racing moto, I've had 4 concussions. 1 completely out for at least an hour. Broken ribs, torn ACL, broken wrist, broken collarbone. Evan Ingham couldn't handle it. Build the defense in the draft. Kill the other team's O. Motocross sounds pretty dangerous.
I'm sure it is. I'm going to tell you what, man. I keep saying it. I know Giants fans are going to hate me come the offseason. And maybe my opinion will be wrong. Last year I wanted the tackle. They took the tackle. If we're picking 5, 6, or 7, depending, of course, what we do in free agency, that could alter my opinion. I'm going to want a cornerback. That's what I'm going to want in this year's draft as of today, depending on what they do in free agency. But I look at this defense. I know we need much stronger corner play. We're going to want to blitz a lot. You need to be able to play man coverage. Our second cornerback is awful. That's what I'm going to want if there's a premier cornerback at the top of this draft.
Yeah, a lot of people like Surtain.
Yeah.
A lot of guys like him. But, there's always somebody that, all SEC games seem like they're canceled this week, so hopefully college doesn't get shut down because that's seems like it's in trouble right now. G-Man Rising over super chat. Really says Knicks do not trade for Westbrook. So I think Fisk made a video about him going to the Lakers, and I said no, the Lakers aren't going to take him. That is a total Knicks thing to do, and please do not do that.
I made a video on that, and if the Knicks trade for Russell Westbrook, the first thing that I will make is a video just titled James Dolan Sell the Team. Because if the New York Knicks trade for Russell Westbrook, that is a James Dolan influence move. You have a player that's 32, that's making $45 million a year. And the other thing, you have young players on this team. You got a 19-year-old, 20-year-old shooting guard that you're trying to develop. The worst player to bring in is a ball-dominant player like Russell Westbrook. If the New York Knicks brought in Russell Westbrook to sell jerseys and get an 8 seed, which is what you would be, so it hurts your draft pick the following year, it's the last place you want to be in the NBA is to barely make the playoffs, so you get smacked in the first round by the Nets, kind of like we did when we played the Nets the first time around when we brought in Stephon Marbury. We got the 8 seed, the Nets swept us.
I hated Marbury.
It was the same thing though.
I know. I said total Knicks thing to do.
They gave away all the draft capital. If they did that, the Knicks to me are completely lost, and I don't think they're gonna. For the first time in my life, I'm encouraged with what the New York Knicks are doing. They're building the right way.
Francis was another one. Steve Francis was another guy they brought in here. What the hell they brought in?
Baron Davis. You go down the list.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Dikembe
Mutombo when he was 90.
Yeah, right. Oh, I forgot he was in there. Wow, he was a Knick.
Yeah. We traded Latrell Sprewell for Keith Van Horn. Don't forget about that.
Yeah, God, they freaking Knicks. Gee, man, if you think the Giants are bad, my God, at least you have some kind of a direction. The Knicks' direction's wrong. They're turning down the wrong way straight. Just don't need to get. You should just make the damn video anyway. G-Man Rising, thank you for the super chat. He says, Chris, I agree. Carton overshadows Evan too much.
Yeah, I liked Carton on the and I was looking forward to hearing him. I think it's a bad dynamic, and I like Evan Roberts. I'm a Met fan, so he brings a Mets perspective. He's a diehard Mets fan, and Carton is a Mets fan too, kind of like Beningo was. But yeah, I don't know, man. To me, it's not a good pairing. I like Roberts. I think he's more meant for the midday. Get Carton on that morning shift. That's where he belongs. Right.
Johnny Ann, speaking of, I mentioned him earlier. I don't know if you were here, but one of our guys from Hong Kong, Brilly, thank you for the super chase. Says, congrats on 100. Your game day stream is a must-watch listen. Can't imagine playoff streams. Can you? Yeah, wow. You keep Gates at center. Love to have Gallman next year. It's a good question because Nick Gates has played much better at center. Nick Gates is a good player. Nick Gates seems to adapt to wherever he is. He got off to a rough start, as the whole offensive line did. but you saw him making some pretty damn good blocks on pulling from the center position, which is something he wasn't good at. Like, we tried that against the Steelers, and they're too fast. But I think Nick Gates has got acclimated to the blocking schemes, and he's definitely improved a lot.
I like Nick Gates. I think Nick Gates has played progressively better over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I think he's going to be your starting center going into 2021. If I'm the Giants, I'm still drafting an interior offensive lineman. I'm going to continue to bring in youth, continue to bring in depth, a guy that maybe you could play at the guard in the center, maybe in the 4th round, whatever it is. But I think Nick Gates is going to be your center going into next year. He's played well enough for me to give him another year.
Yeah, I agree. Giant Steps, thanks for the Super Chat. Really, my man says, congrats on 100 guys. Sign a vet corner on a short-term deal in free agency. Draft the best player available.
But to me, Surtain might be the best player available where we're picking. I mean, people are saying this guy's great. And the other thing I'll say is if we keep signing corner, we need youth there too. I mean, Bradbury's playing unbelievable, but Bradbury we only got for 2 more years. And then we're going to have to pay him a fortune. He's almost 30. He's probably like 27, 28. By the time his contract's over, he's going to be 30. We need to start bringing in youth there. I mean, we don't have an exterior corner.
Right.
I think we need it on this defense. And, yeah, people say Patrick Peterson, but Patrick Peterson's like 31, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So, depending on what we're picking, I'm right now today leaning corner. We'll see what they do in free agency.
Demon L, thanks for the Super Chat. Brilly says LJ, grandmama, after the back injury, there was a bad injury, made him lame. Perhaps. He definitely did not have the explosiveness that the hops were gone. But no Knick fan that lived through that game in Madison Square Garden when he hit the 4-point play.
Greatest play I've ever seen in Knicks history.
Never forget that.
People say the dunk by Starks, and there's no doubt about it. It was iconic, even though he didn't really dunk over Jordan. Jordan was kind of the –
No, he dunked over Grant, though. Grant was like 7 inches taller than him.
Yeah. No, it was an incredible dunk. But everybody says he dunked over Jordan. It was, like you said, it was more Grant. The LJ 4-point play, because of the time it was in the game, and unbelievable. That and the best part about that play was the optics when they showed the long shot, and everybody in the crowd rised at the same exact time.
Yeah, I'm getting chills. You talking about that? Seriously, like that play is iconic.
Yeah, that to me is my favorite moment in New York Knicks history when LJ knocked down that 4-point play.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And I always remember him hitting it, and then Chris Childs running up to him and saying, "You got to make the free throw." Only good Chris Childs ever did as a Knick was telling him you got to make.
He also punched Kobe Bryant.
He sucker punched Kobe. He did. The Knicks used to get in some brawls. Those are the good old days. Greg Anthony was a punk too. He sucked. He sucked. He tried to talk trash to Jordan. He thought he was tough. I remember him. The big brawl against Phoenix in '93, he sucker punched somebody, although he deserved it. Kevin Johnson deserved it because he kept screwing with Doc Rivers. Like he tackled Doc Rivers. That was a great fight. You guys want to go watch a good basketball fight? '93 Knicks Suns.
How about Knicks Heat when Van Gundy's holding on to the leg?
Yeah, well, we had a bunch of good ones against the Heat. '97 with P.J. Brown and Charlie Ward. '98 was when Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning started throwing punches. And I forgot who the commentator was. He said, "Thank God basketball players can't fight." But that's when Van Gundy was on the legs. Yeah. Knicks and Heat had some good ones. They did. It was Knicks and Bulls in '94. Derek Harper and JoJo English. It had some good ones. The Knicks had some good brawls.
We had the Bass Brothers. We had Mason. We had Oakley. We had the Enforcers back then.
He didn't take no crap. Starks. They were all. Yeah. That's why I loved it. That's why every Knicks fan I grew up in the '90s loved the damn Knicks. I loved it. LA Lucas taking to win the title. Thanks to the Super Chat. Really, my man. This is off topic. How about a shout out to Miami Marlins hiring Kim Ng as the first female GM. She is fully qualified for the position. She has a ton of experience with the White Sox, Yankees, and Dodgers. That's pretty awesome. Is she hot? Because maybe that's why Jeter hired her.
Yeah, I don't know much about her, but I did hear about that. That was a major storyline, and yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, she's quite, and I'll tell you, Jeter seems to know what he's doing. A lot of, the Marlins definitely overachieved this year.
They really did.
And they got a lot. They were able to trade Stanton. Just getting something for Stanton was a lot based on his contract. Even though you guys could absorb it, but for them, that was an accomplishment being able to get rid of that contract.
There's talk of the Yankees. There's a lot of talk. Like I said, during the bye week, there's definitely a few Yankee videos I can do. There's talk about Stanton getting traded. There's talk about the Yankees bringing in Lindor, moving
Mets too. I saw, and I don't want
Marcus Simeon's another guy they've talked about. So there's definitely Yankee stuff for me to talk about in the Bible.
Yeah, I don't want Lindor. I don't want to be giving up assets to bring in Lindor. I like our young shortstop. I want him to continue to progress. But Vegas actually has the Mets as the favorite to land him right now. Yankees are second.
The reason they have the Yankees because Gleyber Torres really struggled defensively, and talk about moving him back to second, and then you move LeMahieu to first. But then I'm like, well, where do you put Luke Voigt? But there's talk. I don't know how they could trade Stanton. Stanton's contract is bigger than
albatross.
So that'd be difficult unless he went out to Los Angeles. They don't mind paying money. So who knows? I don't know. Be interesting. But guys, we've been live for an hour again. Thanks so much for being here. If you haven't done so, smash that thumbs up button. It helps out the stream. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, again, go into the description. Link to the Up Tainah Talking Sports is in there. Sub them up. We'll be on that channel Sunday to watch the Giants beat the Eagles for the first time in 9 games. You ain't going to want to miss it. And obviously, if you're new, we do this every week. We alternate channels. We also alternate channels for the Giants live streams. We live stream every game together. So I hope you guys are enjoying the show if you're new. And obviously, with it being our 100th episode, thank you, everybody that has been here for, whether this is your first episode or it's your 100th. Thank you so much, guys. We really, really appreciate it. We've been live for an hour, so ask your questions and we'll see what we can do. But before you do that, Chris, you have to take over. I got to hit the badge. This is the
problem. I'll talk to the chat.
I'll be right back.
I'll talk to the chat. I got a couple of super chats there. I'll read them. Dave Gettleman says Giants will trade Daniel Jones for Gary Sanchez. Dave, if you do that, I will never defend you in another video ever again for as long as I live on YouTube. And I do my best to defend you when I think it's appropriate. Danny Thomas says Knicks Fan TV interviewed Derek Harper, and he talks about the 94 Brawl. You should watch it. I've watched a lot of his. I don't think I saw that one. I saw when I think he interviewed Oakley or Mason. I can't remember. I watched that one. He's got a great channel. Some of the Knicks channels on YouTube are phenomenal. I've worked with CP. I've been on his channel before. I've worked with Sim a number of times. I've worked with CK2K. There's a lot of great Knicks creators on YouTube. Great community. L.A. Lou says, not the Dodgers. Send Stanton to the Angels. Yeah, if I was a team, I would not want to acquire Stanton. I think he makes way too much money. He's injury prone. I thought it was a bad move by the Yankees to begin with when they brought him in. Johnny T in the chat, he says, Tainah, if the Chargers or Baker are dropped and it is proven that he did nothing wrong, should the Giants give him an opportunity to try to get him back into the organization? Johnny, I see no reason that I would be against that. I mean, if he didn't do anything wrong, but my guess is the New York Giants are not going to do that. They moved on from him. The New York Giants have shown that they're not willing to put up with nonsense from players. And even before that, first off, he definitely put himself in the wrong situation. Secondly, the year before, he definitely caused a lot of nonsense within the New York Giants organization. And I would think, I don't know how that would work. I don't know if it would go to waivers or he'd be a free. I don't know. But the New York Giants dropped him. I don't think but they're going to bring him back. I could be wrong. I don't think they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, I think that his personality is just, you talk about culture, which is one thing. I always say winning is culture, but DeAndre Baker's proven himself to be a losing ball player. And just the distraction alone for a young team that's trying to build something, you don't need that. I mean, to me, that would just hurt the chemistry. He hasn't been here all year. He was late for meetings. He fell asleep in meetings. He was really terrible last year. Came out and admitted he didn't know the playbook in week 9. I don't think that's the guy you want. He's been nothing but a disaster since he's been here. And obviously the Giants let him go for a reason. It's just something you can't predict. It's too bad. I really liked DeAndre Baker. When we drafted him, I wanted DeAndre Baker on this team. I thought DeAndre Baker would have a bounce-back season. But regardless, like Chris said, you can't put yourself in that situation. It's a bad look no matter how it ends up.
Yeah, and there was even reports that came out after the fact that Baker wasn't, even though they weren't mandatory, he wasn't coming to the Zoom meetings even before that. He wasn't getting off on the right foot with the new coaching staff. I don't think he's going to be back. And I was looking forward to Baker this year. I thought he fit the scheme very well. Yep. This was more of, more his skill set. In Georgia, we all said that he didn't play a lot of zone. This calls for a lot more man press coverage, being that they blitz so much. I thought he was going to fit the scheme a lot better. I thought he was going to progress this year. But I don't think it's in the cards, guys. I think we're moving on from DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, I mean, I see Zig says it falls on Gettleman, but there's no way Gettleman can know that he's going to do that.
I love that. Now, the red flags, I get it. Maybe you want to say this falling asleep in meetings because he didn't have the – that I get. There is no way. I don't care. Are you going to blame the Patriots for drafting Aaron Hernandez because he murdered somebody? Was that on his scouting report before they drafted him?
Right. You're going to blame Corsi
for somebody?
You're going to blame Corsi for bringing Plaxico Burress in here when he shot himself in the leg?
Yeah. I mean, you can't predict certain things like that. So I cannot put that on Gettleman in terms of him getting arrested and brought on trial for something like this.
Demon L, thank you for the super chat. Really, says Chris, I know you're a Knicks fan, but what are your first 3 picks for the NBA draft? My Hornets have 3rd. Want Wiseman. Really nervous about it.
I think Wiseman's going first. From everything I've seen, I think what's his name? Wiseman and Ball are definitely in the top 3, but who's Edwards? I think those are your top 3 in any specific order. I think from a lot of what I've read, I think Wiseman has a good chance of going 1. I think Ball will probably go 2, Edwards will go 3, but I can see it the other way around. Any one of those 3 I could see going 1, but I think that's your top 3, those 3.
Vance, I am rocking the Seahorn jersey tonight. Seahorn. I was talking about him last night. The last time the Giants swept the Eagles, well, beat them 3 times in one season. Seahorn is part of it. I think the last time the Giants beat Philadelphia, Seahorn was on the team, so I figured I would wear it. Why not? You know, Chris, let's talk about LaMelo Ball actually falling to the Knicks. Is that possible?
I have not. I've seen talk of the Knicks potentially trying to trade up to acquire him.
Would you want him?
I don't think LaMelo Ball would fall to the Knicks, but I have seen that there's been rumors that the Knicks have talked about potentially trading up to try to get him. I personally don't want the Knicks to do that, but I'm not going to cry if they do it. He's known to be the best point guard in this draft, but I don't think this is the draft to try to trade up. It's not known as like a super rich draft to go out and do that. So there's a lot of point guard prospects in this draft, whether it's Tyrese Halliburton, whether it's Kira Lewis. I don't think I would trade up. I think I'd stand pat.
Yeah. But the thing, well, would you rather trade up and get LaMelo Ball, or would you rather pay Russell Westbrook?
I'm definitely not taking Russell Westbrook.
Listen, you know Dolan.
Well, yeah. Then I want Ball.
There you go.
If I got to choose one or the other, I want to trade up for Ball.
There you go. Manny Festo, thank you for the super chat. Really says, don't sleep on Cole Anthony. What do you think?
Cole Anthony to me is going to go later, Manny. From what I've read, he's dropped it. Maybe I haven't looked at mock draft. I've really been looking at the top 15, 16, 17. He might be there at 27. Who knows? But I don't think the Knicks are taking him at 8. What's the other player that I really like the small forward / shooting guard from Florida State. That's kind of the guy I'm zoned in on. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that's who, if we're not taking a point guard, that's who I want. I don't know why the names escape me right now, but he shot 42% from 3, and I think that's something that the New York Knicks need. They need a guy that can stretch the floor, and he's a 3-and-D player, and that's kind of what I wanted in the 2018 draft when they took Knox. I wanted Bridges because he was known as a 3-and-D player. I don't know why the names escape me right now, but he went to Vassell, Devin Vassell. That's I would like him. If we're not going with a point guard, that's who I want.
Somebody said I had a teacup bladder. Well, I mean, when you drink one of these, you're probably going to have to use the bathroom. When you drink soda, you're probably going to have to use the bathroom. That just happens.
Yeah.
It's not like I drink 2 cups of this and like, I got to pee. It happens. What did I just see up there that I wanted to imagine a New York Giants Super Bowl stream? Can you imagine that one? That'd be
New York Giants Super Bowl stream? No, I can't imagine that. I want to imagine a New York Giants win because we're not even used to that. I want to imagine a New York Giants playoff stream. So I can't even imagine a Super Bowl stream. A Super Bowl stream, we talk about, one of these days we want to have more. Well, this year we've done that. We say that every year. We want to have more people in the stream than in the stands. We've done that this year.
Every stream not this year.
When you guys come in pre-stream, we got more people in the stadium. But during the Super Bowl, we might contend to have more people in the stream that are in the stadium for the Super Bowl this year, which would be about 20,000.
That would be insane. Hey now, says Baba Booey.
What's going on there, Baba Booey? Thanks for popping the stream, buddy.
Baba Booey. Fafa Monkey.
My top 10: Edwards, Wiseman, Ball. Yeah, I think that's the clear top 3. Okoro I've seen being dropped to the Knicks, but I've seen him going anywhere from 4 to 8. You got Halliburton going to the Knicks at 8. Yeah, point guard. I want Vassell or point guard. That's what I want.
Dude said the Browns are going to wreck your New York teams. The Browns suck. I mean, give me a break. I mean, listen, it's hard to talk crap as a Giants fan. I get that. We've been bad. You guys are pathetic and never won a Super Bowl. You've never even played in a Super Bowl. I mean, if you're the last team that should talk crap to anybody at any time about anything, Okay.
Do the Cleveland Browns, and I know that they're not used to having a decent year.
Not to mention the city itself is.
What are they, 5-3 now, Baddog?
I think so.
I know they're not used to having a pretty good year, and they might make the playoffs this year because they get 7 teams. But do the Cleveland Browns actually think they're building something there? They traded away draft assets to bring in Odell Beckham. He's never going to be the same player now. Baker Mayfield doesn't look that good. I mean, maybe he'll be a decent quarterback because you guys actually have built a pretty strong offensive line. But look at the division you're in. You think you're passing the Steelers and the Ravens anytime soon?
And the Bengals are on the come up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You keep doing what you do, Browns fans. Giants are in a much better place than the Browns going forward.
What does Mendelbaum say to Seinfeld in that episode? Don't bring that trash into my house. That's what you get when you do that in here. Demon L, thank you for super chat. Really keys to the win on Sunday. No effing up. Definitely not.
That would be the key every Sunday. No up and up. Don't turn the ball over. It's the same thing we say every week. But one thing I want to continue to hammer home with, and one thing they actually did good last week, was converting when they get in the red zone. They were 2 for 2 in the red zone with touchdowns. That's a big thing. You can't turn the ball over in the red zone. You can't turn the ball over near your own red zone. That's a huge thing. Converting when we get into the red zone, not settling for 3.
Right. Swaggatron, I really appreciate it. Got a new member to the Dog Pound. Really, thanks so much, Swaggatron. Welcome to the Dog Pound. That's what I'm talking about. Dog Pound members, where you at? Welcome, Swaggatron, into the Dog Pound. Really appreciate that, man. Mike Francesa, number 1. I am a combination of Francesa and Mad Dog. I don't know how the hell that happened. That's not good. It is and it isn't. Brilly. He says, unfortunately, the Giants are the Browns. Thanks, Mara. Yeah, but we've won 4 Super Bowls. Like, we have history. They have their history is this: the drive, the fumble.
Bernie Kosar is their greatest quarterback of all time.
Well, Otto Graham. I mean,
in modern day.
Yeah, the Super Bowl era.
Yeah.
I forgot. Don't forget about this. Well, Browns. I don't know if there's any Browns fan old enough to remember Red White '88 against the Raiders when you're in field goal range and you throw an interception in the end zone at the end of the game. When you're in field goal range, now, of course, it was like minus 35 in the wind, and they missed 3 kicks already. But still,
No, I'm not worried about the Browns. I think we could beat the Browns. I'm not saying we will. I think we could.
I sound like a Steelers fan now. Why? Because you're talking crap about my team, and I'm bashing you. The Steelers have killed you guys since I've been alive. So I guess I can sound like a Steelers fan, but you come in. It's just funny to me. You come in here, you talk trash about our team, we defend it, and you sound like a Steelers fan. Well, that's because you stink. I guess everybody knows you stink.
Listen. I always say it, and I don't go on other. You don't see me go on other channels talking trash. When you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. Last year, the Browns were the most disappointing team in football. This year, you're playing a little bit better. You're getting a little cocky, but at the end of the day, you're the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, if I'm going to go in and
win a playoff game before you come in and start talking smack about other teams.
I was going to say, if I'm going to go talk trash, it's going to be to my division. I'm not going to go into Crazy Dog stream and start going, "Hey, the Browns suck." We're gonna. Well, then again, he did come in here and he did say that he was going to kick our butt. It's not like he came in here just talk crap. The Browns do play the Giants this year, and that was the game that we were going to do the meetup at because it would have been fun. Actually, I have a piece of my wife's hair on my head there. Don't get any ideas, fellas. We were going to go see old friend Odell Beckham, and it wouldn't have worked out anyway because that was the plan.
That was the plan.
Next year. That should be pretty big. Be pretty big. The get together should be fun.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
Jordan, thank you for becoming a member, brother. Appreciate it. Brilly. Jordan Braun. Welcome to the Dog Pound. Yo, Dog Pound members. Welcome, Jordan Braun. The Dog Pound, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I see Gary says Browns fired Belichick. Great organization. Yeah, and the Jets lost him. So.
The Jets. The Browns do play the Jets. Well, you'll kill the Jets. Listen, Chris and I could take 9 people off of it. Well, we'd have to take more now. We could take 50 people out of this chat. We could give the Jets a game.
I said it during the live stream a couple of weeks ago. I think Hofstra, who suspended their football program for the last 10 years, could beat the Jets right now.
It's pretty bad.
I think they get some of their, go to some of the classes, pick some of the kids out. I think they could beat the Jets right now.
Swaggatron says, "What is your favorite moments besides the Super Bowl?" Now, I've said this all the time, Swaggatron, even including the Super Bowls. For me, it's Matt Barr kicking the Giants to the Super Bowl. in 1990. The 1990 NFC Championship game against the 49ers is my favorite Giants game of all time. More favorite than all the Super Bowls. Why? Because that Niners team was unbeatable. They were going for a three-peat. The Giants had no chance. They were old. They couldn't do this. They won with a bunch of backups. And that is what, just watching the way that game was played was such a good, hard-fought game. Like, I love that game. I just love that game. And we had another one like that in 2011. But that would definitely be it. Matt Barr kicking 5 field goals and Pat Summerall saying, and the kick is good. There will be no three-peat. That'll always be my favorite. Well,
I mean, some of my favorite moments, of course, are going to be playoff driven outside of the Super Bowls. But, you know, obviously the championship games, we talk about it all the time with Eli Manning getting beat like a punching bag, the freezing cold in Green Bay. Terrell Owens crying like a little bitch. That was great getting to see that. My quarterback. In terms of regular season moments, man, you know, I always bring up the comeback by Eli against the Eagles. To me, that was the first moment where I really said to myself, I really have faith in this guy to be the guy, the franchise quarterback that we traded up to get. Coming back down 17 points in the fourth quarter. Definitely had some, you know, things go his way there. I remember Burris fumbled the ball and he was able to run into the end zone and scoop it up. Or I don't remember who scooped it up, but we scored a touchdown on the play. And then the Giants came back. We won the game in overtime where he actually threw it to Burris, I think it was, where he caught it on like the 2-yard line and got tackled into the end zone where they were already in field goal range. But Eli said, I don't care. I'm putting it in for 6. So I always point to that as one of my favorite regular season moments, just because that's when I always say Eli Manning's my favorite player. That's really when, and also his first win. I mean, the game-winning throw, was it against the Cowboys?
Yep.
Yeah, the game-winning throw there where he was backpedaling. He had pressure coming his way, and you saw him throw that rocket into the end zone. Those were 2 of my favorite regular season moments as a Giants fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, I've been around watching the Giants since 84. There was a lot of good moments from 84 to 2011. They've been formed to be teams since, but growing up when I did, I was spoiled. You know, I think that's part of the reason I get so impatient is because I didn't have to live through the 70s. I know
Broncos. My apologies, Drip. It was the Broncos. Good call.
Well, speaking of the Broncos, that was another one. We beat the 13-0 Broncos on a pass to Amani Toomer. That was another good one.
Was that? I always thought it was Toomer. I thought it was Callaway. It was Toomer.
Maybe it was Callaway. I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right. But I remember watching that game at my grandfather's house.
Yeah, that was a good one. Zig, thank you for becoming a member of the Dog Pound, brother. Brilly. Zig, welcome to the Dog Pound, sir. Where are my Dog Pound members at? Welcome, Zig, 8100 into the Dog Pound.
What's going on, buddy?
Real
What's up, man? This is Kent Graham. Oh, Kent Graham, don't remind me.
Yeah, Dave Cannell, Kent Graham. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, there was a ton. I mean, there was so many beating the hell out of the 49ers in '86. That was a lot of fun to watch. Just kicking their ass.
Yeah.
When I went down to RFK in 1986 with my dad and grandpa, that was amazing. Watching Lawrence Taylor have 3 sacks in the first half, Jay Schrader throw 6 picks, pretty much sold up the division. At that point, that was great.
One game I always point to too was the 08 team against the Ravens. In the regular season when we were going up against them, they were like the best defense in football. We ran for like 250 yards on them. Yeah. That's the type of football I like. We just completely manhandled them in the trenches. That was one of my favorite regular season games. There's so many I could go over, but those are some of them.
Yeah, Guggen Man says double dingbats. Damn right. We ain't the king dingbat, but there's one king dingbat.
We're gonna triple moonwalk that ass on Sunday.
Oh, he is gonna be streaming. He's going to be screaming in that stream. He'll be, we're up, Sean, down, Jones. It's going to happen.
I hope so.
He is just as bad as I do.
Oh, he gets emotional. There's no doubt about it.
He is. Man.
Yeah.
He does.
I can't wait to see it. This
summer. Oh, I can't wait to see it either. I can't wait to see it. I asked him if he was going to overnight that belt to Cop. And I said, you should overnight.
You should send it to him already.
Yeah, exactly. Put it in the mail. Check the mail. Zach, thanks for the super chat. Really. Giants versus Vikings game in the playoffs, one of my favorite. Now I'm going to say he's talking about 2000 and not 1997.
41-0.
Yeah, the 1997 one was a heartbreaker.
Yeah, 41-0. I'll tell you what, and also 2 of my favorite regular season moments actually resulted in losses, but we talk about it all the time that they were losses that catapulted us into the playoffs. The loss against the Patriots last game of this regular season, because it really made you believe as a Giants fan, wow. Maybe at that point, I still didn't think we'd beat the Patriots so we met them again. But I said to myself, we could do some damage in the playoffs. That's when I really, and that was such a big loss. And then the other big loss I was at against Green Bay, same thing, 38-35, a game we should have won. But that was kind of what gave us confidence and catapulted us going forward. So those two losses were actually huge losses. I say it all the time.
And then in 2011, you always think back to the Cowboy game. We're down 34-22 with 4 minutes to go. And Eli drives us down, gets 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Obviously, JPP, the big block kick. And I'll never forget that one as long as I live because I was watching the game with my neighbor, and he called that. I don't know how the hell anybody called. He doesn't say to me, JPP's going to block kick. He goes, it's funny. He goes, I've seen JPP get in there and block a kick. And sure enough, that happens. I'm like, how does anybody call a block kick? By the player that blocked it.
Now that you mentioned it, I think my friend did it too. I'm almost positive my friend did do it. I was watching that game at a bar. I think he did call that as well.
That's crazy.
Now that you mentioned that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Drip, thanks for the super chat. Really, let's go Giants. I hope they win. You're not alone. There's about, how many people we got in here? We got 553 people in here. I'm going to say 500 of them are on board with us winning this game.
Yeah, we're getting 3.5. Take the points. Bet the Giants money line. Let's get a W this week, Giants fans.
I told Philly I was going to do that. I said I'm betting the Giants. And I started joking around. I'm like, I might take them on the money line. I said, the hell with it. I might play a freaking pleaser where I give 7 points so I can get it to 3.5, and we're going to cover that. I might actually look into that. I might seriously look into that just to see what it pays. Where if I give Phillies, if I give up 7 points, that means we're favored by 3.5. We can win 24-20. I'm telling you.
We could. We could.
I won money in the Giants the last 4 weeks, so why not? Let's push
Let it roll. Let it roll.
Press our luck. Benjamin's in the house. What's going on? Authentic's in the house. Authentic, I got to get with you because I'm probably not – listen, I got so many – I had a lot of streams this week. I'm probably going to take – I might only stream one time next week, but I want to get with you and Lauren and OGR, and I got to do that Jones. I don't think I got a chance, but that might be – it's probably going to be the only live stream I do next week. I'm not going to do a lot of live streams.
Yeah, there's not a lot of videos up. You got the buy.
Yeah, I will have videos up.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna. That's the one thing I do want to do is
we're gonna take the show up next week. We'll be back the following week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Eagles 27-24 says Scotty Booms. It's definitely possible. I can't.
Scotty's actually the other guy on Authentic's channel does a great job over there. I think it's gonna be a field goal game. I think it's gonna be a field goal game either way. I think it'll be 3 points either way. It's going to be a close game. You look at the last 4 contests between these two teams. 3 of them were decided by 10 points. One of those games went into overtime where the Eagles won by 6. So in regulation, 3 out of the last 4 games have been decided by 4 points. It's going to be a close game. I'm very confident in saying that. It's going to be a very close game.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Authentic. Yeah, we'll like I said, we'll figure it out. I've got a whole week to figure it out, but we'll figure it out. Like I said, I don't plan on streaming any other night that week, so we'll figure out a night. Do that. Yvonne Farfan says, why not do play action RPOs? We ask for that all week. And I think you will see that against the Eagles because of that aggressive style of defense they play. And they get killed on misdirections. I mean, even Dallas ran a reverse at the beginning of that game. The CeeDee Lamb went for 27 yards.
They're going to have to use the outside more against this team for the same reason, that I kind of said going into that game last time. They had they have a really strong interior defensive line. And I think the Giants will struggle a bit trying to run between the tackles. And that goes to the RPO with Jones, pitch plays, things like that. They have to get creative in the run game.
Mike Gorga, thanks for the super chat, brother. Really, really appreciate it. He says, network sound off for me. You are my guys now. 67 years old and most fun watching games since Madden and Summerall, man. That's a great compliment. So, Mike, thank you so much for that compliment. That is probably our favorite compliment is that people actually turn down the TV and listen to our commentary. So
I can't believe we have the audience that we do. The streams and hopefully they just keep building. But we got over 2,000 people in there now when we call these games, and it's incredible. The support that you guys show us. So I thoroughly love to do it. You guys definitely give me energy when I see you guys getting excited in the chat. Sometimes I get into it with you guys because my passion comes out. But I love each and every one of you guys, that support our channel, even when we disagree. So I have so much fun.
It's part of being a New Yorker, especially an Italian New Yorker. We especially me, I listen, I am stubborn and I'm emotional. I'm very emotional. I've said this all the time. You can seriously ask my wife. There is no difference between me streaming and me watching the game upstairs. My favorite thing that she always said to me is, "Why are you screaming at the TV? They can't hear you."
Listen, when I try to, when I do my videos, when I do the shows, I'm definitely very relaxed. I don't try to get when I'm watching a game and it's my team, I'm passionate. I can't help it. People, I try to analyze the team when it's not, or at least to the best of my ability. I'm still a fan, but I try to, be as unbiased as I can. When I'm watching the game, I'm a fan. I'm into it. Right. And I can't help it. It's the team I love. Same thing with the Mets. Same thing with the Knicks. I'm a fan.
Yeah, listen, it don't matter if it's a game or not. I am always emotional. I am always a fan on my channel. Yeah. I always say that's what you gave me. I'm not going to be analytical. I can go over some stuff, and I will do that now and again. But when I'm talking about the Giants, I'm a fan, and I do this by a week-to-week basis. So they make me bipolar. There are games where I am, pretty much every game, I am pissed off, and then by the next day I'm okay because I'm ready to root for them again. It's just what it is. They
like an abusive relationship.
It is. They are bipolar, and they make me bipolar. They are so good for a half, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
So
Did you all see Colin pick the Giants in his Blazing Five? Kalen Dragon, I did. Listen, man, I did a video on it. I think it was like the last week, and I saw that he also came out today, and I think he picked the Giants to win the East or at least win this game. His take on the Giants, it was like identical to what I said 6 weeks ago. I'm like, he must have watched my video. The guy literally said that the New York Giants are the Miami Dolphins from last year. It's something that I said 6 weeks ago after the 49er game. I said that the Dolphins started 0-7. They were outscored by like 100 points in their first 3 games. And then over the course of the year, they got a lot better. He said it verbatim, word for word, a week ago. And I laughed. I'm like, that's exactly what I said. So maybe I do know what I'm talking about. But sometimes that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I do find him to be one of the better people on ESPN or whatever network he works for. Fox Sports or whatever.
This one, Wild 100s says New York Giants fan have tiny hot dogs. Well, you probably know. I mean, maybe you knew a Giants fan someday, and he did it. He did have a tiny hot dog. I don't know why you're looking at that, but I mean, it is what it is. And teach their own. It's 2020. You can do what you want. Maurice Carr, I'm lying with Joe Morris. Yeah, that's my day. It's back in my day. Stealth Ravens in the house. I think
Love Stealth Raven.
Was he was there early. Stealth was one of the first.
Stealth. I'll tell you what. At least on my channel, Stealth was there. I always say it, like in terms of my live stream. Authentic was definitely one of the early ones as well. Bavit was in when I had like 20 people. Bavit was in my streams. Joe Lutz was in my streams, and Stealth Raven was in my streams. Those three and Authentic definitely stands out. Those are my OGs. Those are the guys that have been there since the very beginning when I started live streaming. Stealth was definitely a great supporter of mine. Ever since I've been live streaming on YouTube. The same thing with Authentic. It's why I try to go out of my way to promote Authentic whenever I can. I think he's got a great channel, and he's always been such a phenomenal supporter of mine, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to working with him for sure. Johnny T says, Baddog, who did Sims complete 4th and 17 against? Well, it was against the Vikings, and it was Bobby Johnson that Phil Sims threw to, and of course Raul Allegre kicked a field goal to win that game. But yeah, that was Bobby Johnson that he threw that ball to against Minnesota. The funny thing about the 86 Giants was they won a lot of close games. They had a brutal schedule. If I'm not mistaken, Minnesota was like 7-3. We were 9-2. Like every team in our division was good. The Eagles, I think they all finished over 500 that year. The Cowboys may have finished 7-9, but they were good. They started off 6-2. The Redskins were 6-2. The Eagles were like 4-4. That division was tough. We had to play the Broncos. We met them in the Super Bowl that year. The Giants had a very tough schedule that year. And they ended up 14-2. They played Seattle.
Well, even in 2011, even though the team wasn't that good, we played a really tough schedule that year. And a lot of times when you play a really tough schedule, you become a tougher team because of it, and you play better in the playoffs.
Milfman, how do I feel about Gary Sanchez? Like I was just saying, I was saying earlier in the stream, during the bye week, I'll probably have some Yankee videos up. I'll do some Giant stuff, but there's probably not going to be a lot to talk about. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Stan. I'm going to talk about Lindor. Like I'll try to put more do some Yankee stuff. But again, then I won't have any Yankee stuff for a while. But I am going to make a concerted effort to do more Yankee stuff this year. The video started to get pretty popular at the end of last year, so I'll try to build on that. And without the Lakers having to play against the Yankees, obviously when the playoffs roll around, and hopefully we have a full season, then I'll be able to just concentrate on that. And then Chris and I are going to get that Yankees-Mets World Series that we've been waiting for.
I'll tell you, it might not happen this year, but it's going to be fun covering the Mets and the Yankees over the next 3 or 4 years. I think both teams are going to be consistently very good. I think we're both going to be going to the playoffs on a consistent basis. Maybe I'm not optimistic as a Mets fan, but Steve Cohen talks a big game. He's got a big wallet. So I think the Mets are going to be competitive. I think it's going to be very fun New York baseball the next 4 or 5 years.
I agree. Johnny T, we trailed 2 teams 17-0 at halftime that year. The Saints were one of them when Bavaro broke his jaw and came back. It was a huge factor. And the San Francisco 49ers, when Bavaro came out and carried the entire 49er team for about 20 yards. We trailed them both 17-0 and came back to win both of those games. That was the 86 Giants, man. Malik, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, don't spend this all at once in one place, my guys. By the way, congrats on 30K, Chris.
Not there yet. Almost there, Malik. I appreciate
and then congrats on the way to 50K. Yeah, I'm a long ways away from 50K. That's going to be a while. But
I appreciate that, though, Malik. Thank you.
I do too. I absolutely appreciate it. I just got to 40. Well, I'm closing on 41K now, which is pretty cool. But
I think I'm about like 180 away or 170, something like that. So
yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm about 9,000 away. So we got a ways to go. He says, why not let us win this trash division? Yeah. You know,
let who win the trash division?
The Giants.
Oh, we might.
Why not let us win the trash division?
Listen, I thought maybe it was an Eagles fan. We win the next 2 games, we got a shot. Right now, I'm not thinking division. Right now, I'm just thinking beat the Eagles, and if we win the next 2, then I'll start to think about the playoffs. Obviously, if we win this game, I'll start to think about it because I think we could beat the Bengals off the bye. But realistically speaking, we don't win the next 2. Just don't think about the playoffs. Just think about progression with this team and building and getting better over the course of the year, which in my opinion is what you should have been thinking about from the start. It is a bonus that we even have an opportunity 9 games in, being that we're 2-7. We win the next 2, we'll start really, really seriously thinking about the playoffs.
Definitely. Funk Ops says the Cardinals used to be in the FCS. Yes, they were the St. Louis Cardinals, and then they moved out to Arizona. They were still in the East, but then they went to the West a couple seasons later. But yes, they started off in this division, and I never remember.
They were in our division as the Arizona Cardinals for a bit, weren't they?
For a little bit, but they started in St. Like when I watched them, they were in St. Louis, and then they moved to Arizona 88, 89, somewhere in there, I think. I'm not exactly sure.
They had Adrian Morrell from the Jets. I remember he was on that team. They had Jake the Snake Plummer. I remember that team. They were in our division for a bit.
The Cardinals, I can remember that was a big one too. 1990, we were down 19-10. But like 5 minutes ago, Hostler came in there and led us back to 20-19 victory. I don't ever remember I'm sure it happened. I don't ever remember the Cardinals beating us when I was growing up. They were no good. The Giants were really good.
Yeah, we beat up on them a lot. No doubt about it.
We did.
Phoenix Cardinals, Scotty. You're right. Phoenix Cardinals.
Yeah, Phoenix and then Arizona. Right.
Yeah.
Well, Afghanistan says, I want to beat the Eagles and smash the Cowboys so badly. Cowboys, we should be able to kick there. There's no Dak. We should be able to beat them.
I said it the other night. Even if we don't make the playoffs, this is such a big game, excluding the playoffs, because for all the negative fans and the fan base, for them to believe that this is actually changing and getting better, and maybe you want to call yourself realistic fans, whatever it is, we win this game, I think they're going to start to believe a little bit. If we could beat the Eagles, and I think it just helps the mentality of the New York Giants going into the 2021 season. They say we got the monkey off our back. We could beat this football team. They no longer have this streak. We know we could beat these guys. We're going to go into next year and we're going to take it to them. This is the biggest game of the year. This game is the biggest game of the year. It's not even close. Just from the mental standpoint of growth for this football team to say we could beat another team in this division outside of Washington.
We can beat another team in the NFL outside of Washington.
Well, yeah, but you and I both said at the beginning of the year, you got to beat the teams in your division.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had them both beat. And to me, we should be 4-0 in this division.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a bad break here, a drop pass there. Do you think that Evan Ingram is more determined, comes out as a big game, knowing he cost the Giants the last time that we played?
I don't think it matters. I say that every week, and the guy drops balls. But I think Evan Ingram will be targeted in this game, and we'll see if he comes up with some plays. He's definitely our best weapon in terms of a mismatch. We'll see. I mean, I want them to continue to try to run the ball as much as possible. But if we're going to win, Evan Ingram's probably going to need to have a big game.
How about the Giants in general? Do you think they come out more determined than ever because of what happened the last time? No, this is Eagles. No, we've lost 8 in a row.
I honestly don't even think it matters who we play. I think this team's they give you everything they got no matter what. They've had every excuse in the book to lay down and die this year. I mean, the way that they lost to the 49ers, you started out 0-3, and they came in, they went to LA, a game where everybody wrote them off. Nobody gave them an opportunity in that game, and I honestly thought they were going to get destroyed in that game. And they were in that game until the very end. They gave you everything they had in that game in LA. They played them down to the wire on the road. A game that we easily could have won. And really, since then, we've been in every game. I mean, the Cowboys game we should have won. They brought back 2 touchdowns, the referees. The Eagles game were up 11. And then coming off that crippling loss, again, they have every excuse in the book to lay down and die against the Bucs. A 13-point underdog. New York Giants were in that game until the very end. So I honestly don't think it matters who we play. I think this team is well coached. I think that they're going to come out. They're going to fight each and every week. I think they're going to come out well prepared. And I think they're going to give you everything that they got. And it's what I expect this week.
Somebody said you're building up for a huge disappointment. Not really. We're 2-7. If we lose, and we've been losing the Eagles, it'll suck like it always does, but we'll be amazing.
Listen. I might be confident that we could win this game, but we got nothing to lose. I mean, the team that has everything to lose is the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not the New York Giants. As a Giants fan, yeah, I'll be upset on Sunday if we lose, just like I would be anytime we play the Eagles or any team, but specifically someone in our division. But I'm also going to rationalize the next day and say, well, we weren't going to the playoffs this year anyway. This is a no-lose situation for the New York Giants in terms of pressure. The pressure is all on the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a win-now team. This is a team that already paid their quarterback $40 million that was supposed to win this year. They still have the same coach. This is a team that's a couple of years removed from a Super Bowl. The pressure's on the Eagles. There is no pressure in terms of winning this football game on the New York Giants. If the New York Giants win, this is a monumental win. This is a stepping stone. This is a win, if we get it, that you could look back at the course of Joe Judge's history, which we hope is long and prestigious, and say, this was the game where he really started to turn the corner as a head coach. This was the game where Daniel Jones started to turn the corner as the quarterback and take over, which at least that's what we hope 5-6 years down the road. But in terms of pressure, the pressure is all on Philadelphia. They're the team that's supposed to win this division.
Right. Adam G, thank you for the super chat. Really says, I just smoked a bowl. I love you guys. Adam, you're the man. And since you did that, I'll just do this now. So, it's 420 someplace. So 420 crew, you know what to do. Smoke them because you got them. 420 somewhere. So just 420. That's all I can say. You, Raj, have a great night. Appreciate it. Says, peace, got to go. I know I've been active in the chat 2 weeks, but I've been here secretly since a year. You guys are the best YouTubers. Congrats on 100. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate that. Joe Judge needs to play to win. Joe Judge plays to win every week.
Yeah,
Joe Judge ain't playing to lose, Eric.
Well, I've said before, I feel like I said this in the game last week, I felt like they were playing not to lose. And that can't happen. I feel like they do that. I feel like they get soft. You held Washington.
Well, maybe they play conservative at times.
That's what I mean. They were up 20-3. Why would you change what you're doing? And the defense was totally different in the second half. Stop. And then they had to ratchet up at the end, and they did.
Yeah.
So, you saw the pressure to Alex Smith. That's why they forced those 2 turnovers. Because the good pressure up front forced them. They forced bad throws.
Yeah. The Giants were very aggressive last week on defense. They were blitzing the entire game. That's one thing you can't complain about. They were very aggressive on defense last week, but they definitely let up big plays. And, yeah, maybe they do get a little conservative. They definitely played conservative against the Rams as well. I can't really blame them for that game. I mean, the Rams had a really good defense. They were a much better team. But I did think that Jones in that game played not to lose down the stretch. Yeah, I could see that. But at the end of the day, we're not as good as these teams that we're playing. And obviously you want to win. You want to play to win. You want to try to win. And I think the Giants try to do that each and every week. But, yeah, maybe they play a little bit more conservative in certain areas of the game than they should. But I don't think they're going to do that in this game. You've seen Jason Garrett open up the playbook. They've taken shots. Against the Bucs, they took a ton of shots. They just missed on them. Yeah. I think the Giants are going to come out with an aggressive game plan. I really do. But at the same time, they're going to be a balanced approach, and it's what I've loved. They're averaging 27 carries a game over their last 6 contests. They've had 22 carries more each of the last 6 games.
Yep.
Their last 19 games before that, they had 7 games combined where they had 22 carries. This team has become a team with an identity. It's what I said in my video this week. And I love the balanced approach. I think it's what we need to do to win football games, and it's why we're sticking in these games, and I think we're going to stick in this one.
Yeah, I agree. There was something I wanted to read there. Wade Miller says, I could play quarterback for your sorry midgets and get at least 9 wins. I'm going to call bullshit, sir, because if that was the case, you would be playing in the NFL instead of trolling on a YouTube live stream. So
here's what I'm going to say, and I'm not saying that we wouldn't have another win or two if we had a different quarterback this year. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting some of these losses. Definitely, Daniel Jones was one of the main culprits. But look at the teams we've played. Like, did people think we were going to beat Pittsburgh opening week? Like, did they really think that? That team is undefeated, Baddog. Did people think that we were going to win in LA? I don't think so. We were 13-point dog. Did people think we were going to beat the Bucks? You want to argue maybe we should have beaten the Bears, but I mean, that game was on the road, and the Bears have a winning record. They have a good defense. They have an experienced team with familiarity with the coaching staff. The games we're losing, we weren't supposed to win. Right. And I recognize that Jones cost us a couple of games. I'm not saying he didn't, but I don't think it. People say if we had a different quarterback, we have 6 wins. Maybe if you got Russell Wilson, but if you got an average quarterback, I don't think we're a 6-win team.
I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't. I'm not putting the loss on them against Philly, but this is the thing. So people can say that. I mean, we both picked them to go 6-10. Okay. Yeah. People can say you didn't think going into
6 wins overall. Yeah, I'm talking about 6 wins right now.
No, 6 wins overall.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about 6-3 right now.
No, but you never know, because what I was going to say is this. What I'm talking, we should be 5-4. We probably could have beat the Rams and the Bears. I mean, really. The Steelers, too, we were in that game. I'm not going to say we should have beat them, but we could be 6-3. And I think if we do have a better quarterback that don't throw the interception against the Steelers, don't throw the interception against the Rams, don't throw the interceptions against Chicago, we got a chance, especially before the half. He does it all the time. But what I was going to say is this. When you talk about going into a game and, who thought we were going to beat this team? Who thought they were going to beat that? That's fine. But when you are actually in the game and you're playing it doesn't matter. Yeah. And when you're in these games and you have a chance to win and you don't, that's why I get pissed off. There's some people who are like, why are you getting so mad?
No, I understand it from within the game. I completely understand it from within the game. And I see Billy Costigan saying, why do you always defend Jones? I don't think I defend Jones. I think I try to be fair to Jones. The Steelers game, for example, let's bring that up. I talked about it in my video after the game, and he definitely made a crucial mistake there in the red zone in that game. Lamar Jackson has thrown 6 interceptions in 2 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers throughout his over the last 2 years. That is a ferocious defense. And in that game, the Giants couldn't run the football. All things considered, as an overall aspect in that game, Jones played fairly well when you factor in that the New York Giants had no semblance of a running game at all whatsoever. They didn't help Jones out against that defense. I try to be fair. I don't put the full blame on Daniel Jones for certain games. And in the Pittsburgh game, he wasn't the main culprit why they lost that game. The offensive line was. Every time Barkley touched the ball, he was tackled 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. There are certain games where I'm going to put the main blame on Jones. And I try to be fair. A lot of people are always going to say that Jones, because he's the quarterback, is the main reason that they lose games. And some of the games it has been, and some of the games it hasn't. The Eagles game, like you said, that was Evan Ingram. The Pittsburgh game, I think the first couple of games, we couldn't run the ball. Our offensive line couldn't block. We were very predictable. So I am not going to be a guy that comes on here and blames Jones all the time. I'm just not going to do that. I know people want to do that with the quarterback. That's not me. I look for reasons why they might have lost. Am I saying Jones has been good? No. He's got 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. And was I hoping he'd be better at this point in the year? Absolutely. I thought he'd struggle coming out. I've talked about the reasonings behind that, and I think it's very logical. The first 4 or 5 games why I thought that he would struggle coming out, and some people may call that an excuse. That's just my opinion. Now I need to see him get better. These last 8 games, I said it, I need to see him progress and get better. It's a new season. He played pretty well last week against Washington. We need to see him play better against better teams.
See, my biggest problem with him is, like I said, the decision-making's been bad. And I think when it gets mental, I don't think you can get – that's not something you can't coach. That's what ticks me off. The Bucs game, to me, pissed me off more than any other one because that was squarely on him. The Giants ran down the field all night.
The Bucs game's on him. Bucs game's on him.
But there's a lot of – he makes mistakes in the most inopportune times. The Bucs game, I mean, like I said, that was terrible. The Rams game, he had to lane the run, get the first down, said he forced to throw, shouldn't be there. Even against, the Bucs, he missed throws all night. He threw 2 really bad interceptions. And then the coup de grace was the pass to Dion Lewis where he doesn't – Daniel Jones' biggest problem this year is he does not anticipate. Daniel Jones does not have the arm strength to hesitate and then throw it into a tight window, and certainly not behind a guy. He has to anticipate. when he hit the back step, he should have thrown the ball where Dion Lewis was going to be, and it would have been a 2-point conversion. Dion Lewis was wide open, but he hesitated, and then he threw it behind him. And to me, I said, this is the problem that Daniel Jones has had all season. It is that. This is not, I don't have the talent. This is not, our wide receiver core is no good, because if you look at that Tampa Bay game, that wide receiver core was good enough. That wide receiver core was fine. There was not, the first interception he threw, we had Darius Slayton wide open, never looked there. My problem is
the Bucs game, I'm in complete agreement. The Bucs game was the worst game of his entire career. I mean, the Bucs game was hard. It wasn't just the interceptions. He missed Slayton 2 or 3 times in that game. A couple, maybe you could have blamed Slayton, like you said. Maybe he was trying to throw on the outside shoulder. Slayton turned to the inside. In the end zone, some people said Slayton should have kept running on that route, and he laid up. But Jones definitely missed a lot of throws in that game outside of the interceptions. That game, he was by far the main culprit. I don't even the biggest Daniel Jones supporter, I don't think could defend that. I just try to be fair with Jones. I don't, I try to look at all the factors. I don't think it's all him. When I think a lot of fans want to say it's all him. And I saw the same thing happen to Eli Manning throughout his entire career, in the beginning and in the end, where people wanted to say that it was all Eli Manning, all Eli Manning. And for the people that said it was all Eli Manning, well, now I think you're getting your answer that it was not all Eli Manning. And I don't think it is all Daniel Jones. I think he needs to improve. I think he needs to get better. And I'm not convinced that he's a franchise quarterback yet. I'm not even close to convinced that he's a franchise quarterback yet. But I'm also not close to convinced that he can't potentially be, because I've seen young quarterbacks get better over the course of time, and we'll see how he progresses these last 7 games. I don't think he's ever going to be Eli Manning. Never thought that from when they drafted him. I've never propped this guy up. I think he could progress and become a better quarterback. That's what I'll say right now.
Well, like I said, to me, it's the things that make me mad are not his lack of talent. I think it's there. It is his decision-making. It is the first read. It is patting the ball. It is recklessness with the ball. That type of stuff just drives me insane. It is him missing throws down the field. It is him missing wide open receivers, because to me, that's mental. And that scares me more than anything else, because that is something you can't coach. You can coach his mechanics. You can coach his release time. You can change the angle of his release. You can do a lot of different things. You can change the game plan. But at the end of the day, if Daniel Jones does not anticipate, does not locate receivers down the field, and cannot make throws, then I'm scared. Then I'm worried. Is this guy really the guy? And again, I'm not blaming everything on Daniel Jones. There are a couple games I put squarely on him. Well, not the whole game. Like I said,
the Bucs game is completely.
The Bucs game was a bad one. The Eagles game, I put no blame on him whatsoever. He played well enough to win that game. There's not a doubt in my mind. We should have won that game. And Washington, same thing. I felt like he played a pretty good game in that game. So I'm not gonna sit there and kill him every time, but it's his decision making. I've said that the whole time, and everybody knows I was very high on Daniel Jones. I picked Daniel Jones to go to the Pro Bowl this year. So I'm going to be overly critical of him. If I'm going to give him the glory and the props that I gave him, same time, I'm going to criticize. That's what I do. I mean, it's just how I am.
I think he deserves to be criticized at times. Yeah. I see Yvonne's always trolled me, so I'm not surprised by this. Yvonne's come on my channel before and said you got too many ads. He's always trolled me, so he's an asshole. I don't really care. But he says, Chris is getting annoying. Well, if you don't want to hear a perspective from a guy that doesn't blame it all on the quarterback, don't watch my channel, Yvonne. You've trolled me from the beginning. I don't care. I'm going to tell you my opinion on YouTube, and I'm not scared to share it, period. And I'm not scared to listen to other people's opinions.
I just got a damn troll saying, Baddog, you know everything.
I don't care, Yvonne. Right, don't watch me then.
Right.
I'm not scared to share my opinion. I'm not going to fold to what you want me to say.
That's this Wade Miller guy. Oh, you know everything, Baddog. Get your ass behind center. I don't need to be behind center. That ain't my job, right? I do my job better than Daniel Jones has done his job. Plain and simple. If I failed at my job, I'd be fired. That's plain and simple. I am not a quarterback. I am a guy on YouTube that makes videos from a fan's perspective. That's all I am. That's all I'm ever going to be. I'm not an expert. Don't claim to be. This is my opinion, just like it's Chris's opinion. That's why people watch. And like Chris said, if you don't like it, you don't need to be here. That's fine. I got 40,899 other people that are here. I don't know what else to say. It's just the way it is. But I will not be bashed for my opinion. I'm not going to change my opinion because you don't like it. That's just how it goes. That's life, son. That's life.
Yeah. That's it.
There you go. Now, 2 trolls got knocked out. There you go. Mike Francesa, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. I don't know where that went. There it is. He says, so when Jones is bad, it's everyone else's fault. When he plays an oldish game against Washington, we throw a parade. Come on, this is the NFL, no excuses.
I'm not throwing a parade.
I was going to say, I don't think we threw a parade.
Have I thrown a parade? I haven't thrown a parade. I said that I was encouraged that he was a game manager. I'm not telling you that. I have never once come on. I've never used the term Danny Dimes outside of maybe emotional during a game. I've never once said he's better than any quarterback in the league. I've always said that I thought that he was a game manager that has maybe some upside. I have never propped up Daniel Jones. I've always had a wait-and-see approach, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
Yeah, me, I'm emotional. I say that all the time. I am very, listen, that is me as a pro. I get very high and very low very quick. I told you, Giants make me bipolar. But I'm going to agree with what Mike Francisco says, because I'm not saying you, Chris, but there are people that make excuses for Daniel Jones on a consistent basis. And what Mike Francisco is saying here, I agree with. Really, my man says this isn't 1975. Quarterbacks should be ready by the end of year 2. Mike Lombardi says it. Stop comparing different eras. I don't think Chris is comparing different eras. Yeah, but he says enough for now. I've never heard Chris compare him to another quarterback. I've
never compared him to a quarterback. I've compared him to a situation that Eli Manning came into, just because Eli Manning had a much better surrounding roster, which is fair. I think we could all agree Eli Manning had a much better surrounding roster when he came into the league. But I'm not comparing him in terms of talent to other quarterbacks. I don't think he's an immensely talented quarterback. I never did.
Well, what I'm saying is people are like, look at Peyton Manning. Like, that one drove me crazy. That's why I did a video.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I did a video. Somebody on Twitter asked me to do that. And it's a good point. Look at Peyton Manning's first 20 games. Dude, he's not Peyton Manning. I mean, and again, that's why I actually did some extensive research and, like, look at the way the game's changed. So I agree. And the same thing with Andrew Thomas. Like, people are like, oh, he's got to develop. When you're a top 5 pick, you should be developed. You don't pick players in the top 5 so you can develop them. They should be ready to go and make an immediate impact. Matt Peart, that's a guy that has to develop. Shane Lemieux, that guy has to develop. That's fine. Top 4, Andrew, do not give me he needs to develop. He should be developed immediately. That's my thought. Maybe people can disagree. That's fine. But that's my thought. When you're drafted top 5, you need to come in and you need to be good immediately and then get better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that obviously there's a lot more pressure when you're an early pick and you expect them to accelerate quicker than a later round pick. I would agree with that stance for sure.
Yeah. Gary, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. If Aaron Rodgers was our quarterback this season, what's the record, Chris?
Probably 5 or 6 wins, but how many Aaron Rodgers are there, Gary? That's my question to you. I've been watching football, and maybe I overrate Aaron Rodgers. I've been watching football since 1991, 1992. I've never seen a more talented quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. When you couple his physical ability and his IQ level, the way that he's able to draw defenses off sides, you saw it a couple of weeks. There's one Aaron Rodgers. Okay, Aaron Rodgers could go on any team, and they're going to have 5 or 6 wins.
Not the Jets.
If you think maybe not the Jets. Yeah. If you think you're finding an Aaron Rodgers in the draft, good luck, Gary.
You got him this year, the Trevor Lawrence. No.
If you think he is, good
they compare him.
Good luck.
Good luck, Andrew Luck. Brilly. He says, were you guys upset when they benched Kurt for Eli? A lot of people were pissed. I'm gonna be honest, Zach. I really don't remember my reaction to that. I think I can remember this though. I don't think I was upset about it. I think I was kind of like Daniel Jones. Like, when you draft a guy that early, I'm ready to see him play. I'm ready. I'm ready from week 1 to see what he has. I do remember him coming in against the Eagles. He didn't start, but we were getting killed. And I think it was Jerome McDougal. I could be wrong. Blindsided the living bejesus out of Eli Manning. I mean, he took a shot, and I'm like, oh, my God, is he dead? I'm like, oh, my God. You can't have a quarterback getting lit up like that. But he got right up because Eli was tougher than any freaking quarterback. He may not be tough. There is no quarterback tougher than Eli Manning ever. There is never been a quarterback tougher. Tell me a tougher quarterback.
Well, Ben's pretty tough. Ben gets hurt, but he's pretty tough. He plays through injuries. But Eli's definitely up there. Eli's definitely up there as one of the toughest quarterbacks I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly says, pretty crazy to see the 180 opponents have done on Judge in spite of the record. Good to see new perspective coming with new evidence refreshing. I think we were all pretty satisfied with Joe Judge. I never heard anybody really getting on his case. Garrett was
there's some like completely unrealistic fans that do because they look at the record. But overall, I think that the wide majority of the fan base has been behind him from the start.
I think Garrett's the one that's taken most of the criticism. And as I've said with Garrett, if you're going to defend Daniel Jones and say he's got no talent, well, Jason Garrett has the same talent to work with that Daniel Jones. So you really keep on Garrett. And again, I think that part of his vanilla play calling the first few weeks was that the fact that, like Chris has said and numerous times, the offensive line was piss poor. We couldn't run the ball to save our lives. So we had a hard time with trust doing these razzle-dazzle plays. And ever since that first the Cowboys game, you've seen him have trust in the offensive line. You started to see him open up the playbook a lot. And I love the way he's called the last 4 games. Honestly, we could have won the last 4 games, guys. We were in every one of those games. We were ahead in every one of them games and lost at the end. Every one of them. That's not on Jason Garrett. Defense can't hold it. It's not Jason Garrett's fault that Evan Ingham can't catch. What did he do? All he can do is call a play. Evan Ingham's wide open. Daniel Jones put the ball right there.
It's about execution at the end of the day.
Right.
I think that Garrett's called good games for the most part when you factor in the what he had to work with early on in the season. Another tough quarterback I was thinking off the top of my head, Steve McNair was damn tough. Steve McNair used to play with broken bones. He was
Tony Romo, another.
Yeah. Those are some tough quarterbacks.
He was tough too.
Yeah.
G. Rising, neighbor, super chat, brother. Really says DJ is Tannehill talent trying to play like Mahomes. And I know Chris has said that he plays hero ball, and I think part of that is pressing. I think the fact that they've lost so much, he does try to do too much. And I think, like Chris said, to me, this game is so important that they have to beat the Eagles. And I think if the Giants can somehow scrape together a few wins in a row, he'll stop that. He'll stop it. He realizes that they don't need him to be a hero. Just do your job. Right?
I think that's his biggest problem right now, though. And some of it might have to do with the talent on the surrounding talent on the roster, and some of it. And he did it last year too. I saw it game in and game out. It just didn't result in a lot of interceptions. Defenses dropped balls. He made a number of bad throws last year where I said he should have checked it down there. He's got to learn. He's got to learn. And if he doesn't, he won't be the quarterback much longer. So for those of you that don't like Daniel Jones, don't worry. If that doesn't improve, if he doesn't worry that if he doesn't realize that he needs to play more like Tannehill or Alex Smith more so than Brett Favre, he's not going to be a quarterback much longer.
All right. Johnny Weaver's got to get. Favre was a tough son of a bitch.
Favre was very tough.
Favre was a tough guy. Peyton Manning was a tough guy.
Yeah, he was.
L.A. Lou, they were super chat. Brilly says the best pure pass I ever saw was Marino. Oh, Marino's a beast. I bought a Marino rookie card probably 3 weeks ago. I really needed that one, Michael. And they're cheap. They're not expensive at all. So I was like, I gotta do that.
Yeah, you were telling me you were looking into that. Yeah,
I got that. I bought a Randall Cunningham rookie too. I love Randall. I hate the Eagles, but I always loved Randall. And again, that was just $60 for PS.
He was a fun player. I remember him back in the day. He was a fun player.
When he was on the Vikings, I was rooting my ass off for him.
Yeah.
I loved Randall.
Didn't he win the MVP with the Vikings, or he definitely had an MVP-like season with the Vikings?
In '98, yeah, they were really good. Randy Moss's rookie season, they should have been in the Super Bowl. Gary Anderson didn't miss a field goal all year. Then he missed a chip shot against the Falcons, and they go down and score and win in overtime. So Minnesota's always had some heartbreaking losses. But yeah, I rooted for Randall big time when he was in Minnesota. I always loved Randall. He was exciting. He was way ahead of his time. Randall Cunningham was way ahead of his time.
Yeah. It was Vic before Vic.
Yes, he was. He was
better, probably.
We're fine, bro. I'm just telling you. This is what you get from me. I don't hold the grudge for anybody that disagrees with me. I'm 44 years old, man. I got a wife. I got a kid. I got nothing to prove to anybody. I don't hold grudges.
I say it all the time. As long as you respect me, I'm going to respect you. If we disagree, that's fine. That's what's fun about this. Now, if you're disrespectful and you come on my channel and you're being a jerk, well, you're going to hear about it. But as long as you respect me, I'm going to respect you. I know it. I say it all the time. If you agree with us, why are you watching? If you agree with everything that we say, why are you watching?
Right. And when you
don't you want to come to somebody to get a different perspective?
Right. And when you're fortunate to have 600 people on live stream, inevitably there are going to be people that disagree with
you. Yeah.
It's going to happen. The more people that watch you, the more that are going to disagree. I would rather have people disagree with me.
Of course.
I mean, again, I just told you, Fisk. I probably don't agree with 10% of what Fisk says. I'm serious. Whether it's LeBron against Jordan, whether it's Brady, whether it's Daniel Jones, I never agree with him, but I love him. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, John, you're right. sometimes though you gotta have fun with the trolls. And tonight I wanted to call one out.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Yeah, you're right. They are just looking for attention. You're right.
I have definitely had fun with the trolls. So it's part of it. Sometimes you just gotta you ignore most of them, but once in a while you make an example out of one. That's kind of. Yeah, I let my moderators handle that. And my mods do a fantastic job. So I always.
I agree with most of what you guys say. To be honest, not everything, but most. Afghanistan, it's impossible to agree with everything. It would be boring if you did. Exactly. But you're always in our streams. You're always supporting us. You want to talk about? I mean, Afghanistan's incredible. I mean, he's in every stream. He's awesome.
Yes, he is. One of the first ones in every stream too.
Yeah,
our streams. He's in every one for 24 hours. And then he says, now what do I do? It's always my favorite. Now what are we going to do? You can sleep. It's okay. You know, that's only 3 months away. That's crazy. And another one in 3 months.
What's up, Cushmaster? What's up, Nelson? No, Chris, you show us the vocals, and Baddog, can you spit some bars? Omar, if the Giants win this week, you'll get some vocals. If the Giants win this week, I'm gonna have a shot ready if we win, and I'll
win the Giants. You know what? If we win, Chris, I'll do a shot with you.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I got some McAllen, or not. I wish I had McAllen. They got rid of. How the hell do you get rid of? How the hell do you discontinue McAllen 21-year Scotch? What the hell is going on there? I can't afford 25-year Scotch, but I got 21-year Glenfiddich. We'll do a little.
There we go. Are you sure the Giants are the best team in the NFC East? Nate Ross says.
I stand by that.
Here's what I'll say. I am not going to say that yet because I want to earn it. And we haven't earned it yet. We found ways to lose games, but what I will say, I think we're capable of beating anyone in this division, and I think we're playing just as good as anybody else. So it depends on how you define.
We beat Philly. You're gonna say we're the best team in the division?
Yeah.
There you go.
I probably would because right now the Cowboys are banged up. They're not the same team that when we played them. Washington we beat twice, so we're better than them, and we should have beaten the Eagles twice if we win this game. So. Yes, if we win this game, I will say that we're the best team in this division, at least right now.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's not really an accomplishment, but based on how bad our division is. But yeah, I would say if we win this game.
Wade says he's not a troll. You got 4 kids. God bless you, sir. I got a 3-year-old. Well, I have a 27-year-old too, but obviously I don't have to take care of him. He's an adult. But a 3-year-old, yeah. I don't know how anybody does it with 4 kids. That's one's enough. John Steps, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, how do you rank the position coaches?
That's so hard to say. I mean, I like a lot of the guys we brought in. I like Coach Chaos. I like Jerry Shaplinsky. I was a big fan of Bielema with the experience that he had in college and coaching in the NFL. Kevin Scherr, I liked him, the Georgia linebacker coach. He had familiarity with Lorenzo Carter. Henderson, I think, is a good DB coach. I like a lot of them, man. I like a lot of the coaches that with Colombo. I love. I would say Colombo with the way the offensive line is played as of late. If I had to pick one, I would say Colombo.
I just like when people compare me to Coach Chaos. I love that. It's one of my favorite things. I love that. It's always one of my favorite comments is Baddog should be out there screaming at these guys. I do. They just can't hear me. I scream at them every week, guys. You watch the channel. I scream at them all the time. They just won't hear me. She's always right. My wife was right. They can't hear me, but I'm like, you're not a fan. You don't get it. It's a release of agitation because you can't control it. And I hate things I can't control. That's why I don't like gambling. I can't control it. I can control the outcome. But I guess if I could.
Well, you don't hate it. You've been betting on the Giants.
No, I bet. Yeah, I've won 4 weeks in a row.
Let's make it 5.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to see what adding 7 points, giving Philadelphia 7 points on top of the spread does. I want to see what that pays. I might do it. Depends on how I do it with the
college. You probably get at least 5 or 6 to 1.
It'd be good. Zeke, thank you, super chat. Brilly says this is the week we beat the Eagles' ass. Let's go. Hell yes.
What's going on, Zeke? Man, great supporter of both of ours, man. Thank you for being here, buddy.
Karan Gill, thanks for super chat, brother. Brilly says who starts if Yadam can't go.
Karan's another great supporter. That's a good question. I don't know who's going to start there. I think Ryan Lewis is banged up too, if I'm not mistaken. Ryan Lewis sucks anyway. I don't know, man. It's musical chairs. Throw somebody out there and see what they got. I don't know who they're going to start.
You think they'd move Holmes out to outside corner?
Maybe you put Ryan out there.
About Julian Love.
Julian, yeah. Harper, JGB says that's the guy they brought in the offseason. I thought he was more of a safety than a corner, but they did bring him in. Maybe he will start. I don't know. Right now, the Giants do not have. That's why I say I think our biggest need right now is a corner, and we definitely need a playmaker, or wide receiver. But our second corner is dreadful right now.
You think Solder gets cut next year? I think he gets cut next year too.
I think he's going to get cut, but if I remember correctly, I think it's after June 1st. They'll save a lot more money, so I don't think they'll be able to cut him before the free agency period. But I'm sure they can structure the contracts, anticipating that they're going to cut him after June 1st. And I think they save. I think he only costs $6 million against the cap if they cut him after June 1st. I'm pretty sure on that.
Jim and Ryan,
if they cut him before.
Thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, he says DJ's rookie season was overrated. He was getting away with single reads against bad teams. And the good teams exposed it. 30 interceptable passes, too.
I completely agree with you, G-Man. I completely agree with you. You know, going into the year, I like some of the things that I saw. I was trying to be optimistic, but I completely agree with you. I thought that I was definitely not convinced on Daniel Jones off his rookie year. I liked some of the things I saw, and it's hard to be convinced with any quarterback after their first year. And he definitely showed promise, but I agree with you. There was a number of games where he should have thrown a lot more picks than what he did. He struggled against zone coverage. That's how I think I'm pretty fair with Jones. I have not been sold on him from the start. I'm just trying to give him a fair opportunity, but I agree with you. I thought that his stats were misleading. You look at his touchdown passes. He threw 5. He threw, I think, like 15 against like 3 or 4 horrible defenses. So I agree with you. I thought it was a misleading year statistically as a rookie.
He had ups and downs as a rookie, which any rookie would. That's why last year I would make excuses for him, saying, hey, he's a rookie. He's trying to learn the defenses in the NFL. He's trying to learn all that. It was different. There's no doubt. But he showed me enough last year. I thought that with a year under his belt and drafting an offensive line and getting Saquon Barkley, obviously he wasn't healthy this year, but getting Saquon Barkley healthy, the receivers were the same. And he had I thought he and Slayton would have that connection again. I thought they'd actually be better. He had a healthy Evan Engram. He's had it all year. He's just been terrible. So Shepard obviously got hurt. But, I mean, I was sitting there going, and Corey Coleman was coming back. Obviously, the injuries have part to do with it. But when I looked going into the year, I'm assuming everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
And improving the offensive line, to me, I said Daniel Jones should be fine. Daniel Jones should be better. I thought the Jason Garrett signing was good.
Yeah.
I had high expectations for Daniel Jones. I'm not going to lie. I said this guy did enough. He did enough. He showed me enough talent that I said going into this year with what I thought was a better team, and obviously wasn't. I mean, offensively, I thought the offense would be ahead of the defense. It ended up being the opposite. I thought that Daniel Jones would have a good season. I did. I thought Daniel Jones had a good season, and he's disappointed me. I'm not going to lie. So, like I said, I was overhyped about him. Now I'm probably overcritical, but again, that's me, guys. I am 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. That is my personality. I can become enraged like that. It happens. It's just me.
I was expecting progress this year, but I was expecting a very slow start because even though I was optimistic that I thought that the offensive line was going to be better this year, I thought it was going to be horrible to start the year because you had 3 new offensive linemen. I thought it was going to take time to get going. So I was not surprised at all. I thought it would take at least 4 or 5 weeks. I was hoping he'd play better than he has, though. And that's why I want to see the second half of the year. I did think not just Jones, the offense in general would struggle to start the year. Jones, I'm not saying I think Jones should be playing a little bit better than he has, but I did expect him to struggle to start, and that's why I'm giving him the year. That's why I'm giving him the last 8 games.
All right. Well, thanks for the super chat, brother. Brilly says, love you all. The best YouTubers ever. Go Giants. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Very much. Chris just did his Elvis right there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Pods, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, boys, always a good time on the stream. This team is coming together in all areas. Free agents and draft picks playing good, and Gettleman's job is safe.
I wouldn't say safe, safer.
Definitely.
I wouldn't say safe. They got to close out the season and play strong, but I would say it's a lot safer than it was 3 weeks ago.
We'll go for like another 5 minutes, guys, and then we will call this 100th episode Johnny, and we will put it to bed. G-Man Rise, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, brother. He says, if Jones continues to struggle, though, can I only take a quarterback for a high-ceiling quarterback? If not, I take a stopgap like Jacoby Brissett, bench Jones next year. I don't know.
My thought process, and I've mentioned Jacoby Brissett, if they elect to bring in a free agent, I actually think he's a really good fit. I would still start Jones, though. Or at least make it at least an open competition going into the year. I would start Jones to start the year, but if he really struggles the first 3 or 4 or 5 games next year, then you have a veteran that could step in and at least play decent. I would still give Jones the start of the third season if I was going that route, but then you have a guy that could step in and play decent. He's got experience with Judge in New England. You got the quarterback coach, that he played with at New England. He was one of the guys that spoke so highly about him with Shaplinsky. I think Brissett makes a ton of sense if they're going for a stopgap guy, a veteran backup that can provide they could step in if Jones is really struggling the first 4 or 5 games next year. So I could see them going that route. And again, I think it's going to depend, G-Man, kind of like you said, how Jones plays these last 7 games and whether or not you have full confidence with him going into the third year.
Yvonne, I used to want to choke Shermer. I hated Shermer. Jesse Davis singing the Philly 500 song, which I love that. That's always my favorite. The Philly 500 Baddog is a Mad Dog song. Is great. I just love that he added extra verses to it. It was just simple. And then he's like, they treated Odell Beckham, they drafted Jones, they got all these on YouTube, but he works for Nancy, and he finally watched Breaking Bad, all that stuff. Super chat, Brilly says, Judge is showing he can coach up average to below average talent. Do you think he can coach that A-level talent and get the same results? Oh, God, he'll get better results.
I think Judge is going to be fine. Maybe the one thing that I'm not completely sold. You're never going to be completely sold until you see the team start to win, but I'm very encouraged with Joe Judge, and I definitely want to see him here for at least 3 or 4 years. I want them to give him the full opportunity to prove that he's the guy for this football team because we need stability, and I think he's shown promise. The one thing that he's yet to prove, do his methods work if you bring in veteran football players? And he's brought in some guys, but they had experience with the coaching staff. I think his philosophy, a lot of people say, could definitely work on a young team, but will the team buy in when you got veterans that are 29, 30, 31 years old and you're a disciplinarian? I think it will work if you can instill the culture. If you could start winning football games, right. It's like New England. If you start winning, and I'm not saying we're going to New England right away, but if you start to establish that culture, and I think it's good that he has a young team to start out trying to do it, people are going to buy in because they're going to say, yeah, I'll put up with it because I want to win football games. Exactly. So I think it's about instilling that culture. But yeah, that's a good point you bring up. Once you bring in established players, are they going to be able to put up with it? Listen, if they're winning, they'll put up with it.
I agree. They did with Parcells.
Yeah.
They did it, like Chris said, they did with Belichick. I mean, because you want to win. Yeah. And if you're showing that you're consistently winning, they will put up with that to win. That's what everybody wants. Yeah. By 95%. Some people just want their damn money. Karan, thank you for the super chat, brother. Really, if it was up to you, would you keep Leo, Dalvin, both, or neither?
That's the golden question going into the offseason. And I think they're going to have about $50 million in cap after everything. After they make trades, cut players, whatever, they're going to have about $50 million in cap. And that's an estimate because we don't know what the exact cap's going to be. But if you keep both, that ties up about 60% of your available cap space. But the way that the defensive line is playing and what Dalvin Tomlinson has come out and said that he'd take a discount to stay here. He's a homegrown Giant. He's played well. And I'll tell you what, Leonard Williams, we were saying at the top of the stream, the run defense is night and day with him in the lineup. And he's our best, at getting after the quarterback shift. Now, what you got to worry about with Leo, it's a contract year. Is he extra motivated to get that money and get that long-term contract? I won't be upset if they keep both. I still have doubts about whether or not they'll keep both because they have other needs on this roster. And they have some good players at that position to begin with Dexter Lawrence, B.J. Hill. Even Austin Johnson's played pretty well when he's gotten the opportunity this year. And you could always find an interior defensive lineman or a 3-4 defensive end in the mid rounds, third round, stuff like that. So I don't know if they'll bring both back. I'm still leaning that they'll only bring one back. But based on the way the defense is played, you might want to do everything you can for continuity to keep this team together. I wouldn't be shocked if they could get them on shorter term deals, maybe 2 or 3 year deals or 3 year deals with the ability to get out after 2 if they brought back both. But I'm still leaning one.
G-Man Rising, thank you for the super chat. Really says, I think the next 2 to 3 weeks will determine Dave Gettleman's fate. Yeah.
I agree with that. If they win the next 2, Gettleman's coming back. Yeah. I'll say 90%. If they win the next 2, Gettleman's coming back. If they go 1-1, I'll still be 50-50. If they lose both, I'll probably be 30-70 that he's coming back. So I agree. These next 2 weeks are very important for Dave Gettleman.
Thank you again, buddy. Brilly says, Chris, what do you think about Kira Lewis or Maxey?
I would lean, from what I've read, I would lean Lewis. A lot of people like Kira Lewis. A lot of people have Kira Lewis being mocked to the Knicks. I would lean Kira Lewis. Need to do a little bit more research, but I think that's where I would lean right now.
Peter, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly says, did we win the Leonard Williams trade or too early? We won.
I'll tell you what. I said it on Twitter today. A lot of people disagree with me, and maybe I'm wrong. I always say my opinion could definitely be wrong, and I know the Jets didn't like him, so maybe they wouldn't have franchise tagged him. And if they did, maybe nobody would have traded for him. But in today's modern-day NFL with defensive ends, you look at what teams do, Yannick Ngakoue, so on and so forth. They tag them, and they trade them. So, in my opinion, it is completely possible, and maybe it wouldn't have been the same price tag. I don't know. But it's completely possible that even if the Giants waited until the offseason, they would have had to give up something to bring in Dalvin Tomlinson. It's possible the Jets would have tagged him and looked to trade him.
Right. Mohammed Mustafa, who says, who do we play after the bye? We play Cincinnati. Nelson, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says, let's show some identity and erase all the memories by smacking up the Eagles. They are not the only team in our division. We have to end the drought. I agree. That's what my video pepping them up was. I don't care about what's happened in the past. What matters is the 60 minutes in front of us on Sunday. That's all I care about. Nothing else.
Listen, I think this is a this is a defining win. If the Giants could go out there and win it, I think it would bring hope to a lot of the question, the negative, not realist, whatever you want to call yourself. But I think it would bring hope to the wide majority of this fan base that this team is really going in the right direction if you were able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles this week.
Yeah, I think we got it. Milan YK, I've seen you ask us a bunch of times. Do I like Justin Fields? I have never sold on Ohio State quarterbacks. I have a hard time with quarterbacks from certain schools. But Justin Fields, by far, looks like the best quarterback I've ever seen play at Ohio State. So I'm always skeptical because of the system, and they are just so dominant. They're so much better than every other team in the Big Ten. I worry about that. But to me, he's way better than Dwayne Haskins ever was. He's better than a Terrell Pryor or Cardale Jones. It's tough for me because, again, USC, Florida, Ohio State don't like them quarterbacks, no matter how good they are in their college. But if anyone from Ohio State was going to succeed, I think Justin Fields has got the best opportunity. And
I've seen him a little bit.
If he ends up with the Cowboys, he can be really good.
I haven't done a ton of research on the quarterbacks because my honest to God opinion, I don't think we're taking a quarterback. And maybe my opinion will change at the end of the year. What'd you say, Baddog?
I win on Ohio State football, so I always watch that.
Yeah, I watch him. I've watched him a little bit, and I've seen Trevor Lawrence, but I really don't think we're taking a quarterback. And maybe at the end of the year, my opinion will change based on things that happen over these last 7 games, and then I'll do more research. But like you said, I'm not so much a guy that really focuses on the college that these guys go to because there's been guys that have broken trends before. Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma rather. They didn't have a lot, even though hasn't been that good actually. But Kyler Murray has been good. So I think there could be a really successful quarterback out of Ohio State. But what I question there is there's a lot of everything that you hear. It's a lot of one-on-one coverage against Ohio State. It's a spread out offense, and it's a team like you said that always has superior talent. So you have to factor that in. And you can't look just strictly at the statistics. But everything that I read, people really like this kid. I think he's going top 2. And like I said at the top of the stream, I think it's going to be Jets, Jaguars. I think your first 2 picks this year, if they're in those spots, will be the 2 quarterbacks, Lawrence and Fields.
Whoever goes to the Jets is screwed. No matter who it is. It could be Joe Montana or Dan Marino. Well, the Jets actually could have had Marino in 83, and they decided to go get O'Brien. That's just typical Jets. But, guys, we are going to wrap this up. Again, 100 episodes in the book, Chris. It's insane. I can't believe it's been 2 years. And, it's funny. I'll get done with this tonight. I'll go back and I'll watch the first episode ever because it's just funny to see the backgrounds. It's funny that your accent was much thicker. And, I love it. Guys, girls, I can never thank you enough for everything you guys have done. I mean, I say the same thing every week, but I can't say it enough. I really can't. The fact this team is so bad, and it's been so bad, and we're 2-7, and we're talking about how this could be a turning point in our season and everything else. You guys have made this go from, like I said, 100 views to like anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000 views. Really, really appreciate it. And, we can never do this without you. You guys are such an enormous part of this show. Whether you agree or disagree with us, it doesn't matter. We love that you're here. We appreciate. We love to hear all of it.
We want you to disagree.
Right. We want
you to do it respectfully, but we want you to disagree.
Right, exactly. Respectfully. Dutch, with a super chat. Really, sign up to my OnlyFans. I don't know exactly what that means.
And by the way, I see a couple people wishing me happy birthday. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, Chris, you're old. You're catching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good.
When you hit 40, it really don't matter anymore. It is, and 30 was a rough one for me. 40 was like, hey, I'm old. All right, we'll just celebrate. Super chat really says, I don't think Dave Gettleman is back, even if we make the playoffs. We've heard all year Mara is pissed. GM knows it'd be because of a bad division. Yeah, but if you're turning a corner,
I disagree with that, Nick. And maybe I'll be proven wrong at the end of the year. And I don't know what they're going to do over the last 7 games, but he said at the end of the year he wants to see improvement. Can anybody debate right now that we haven't seen improvement? And even though the record may not indicate it, and the offensive line is much better. The defense is much better. It's going to come down to Jones, though, I think, in the end. Jones has to get better over these last 7 games. And if he does, I think it will secure Gettleman's job. But we'll see. There's still a lot of questions to be answered.
Right. Blake Norris says Baddog doesn't know OnlyFans. No, I don't. I don't know what the hell that is. I'm old. What the hell do I know? I'm lucky I know what Twitter and Instagram are. By the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, links are in the description. You follow me there, I'll follow you back. I think I'm going to start promoting my Instagram. Seems like more people are there, but I am on both of those. And again,
me too. Anybody wants to join?
Right, there you go. Because YouTube don't always give me the notifications. As a matter of fact, I look at my analytics. Then 9% of my videos that are viewed are from notifications. So YouTube does a bang up job sending notifications out to my subscribers. Really appreciate it, YouTube. 9%. That's pretty good. What a joke. I mean, but that's why I started promoting the other website or the other websites, with the social media sites, whatever you want to call them, just so people can see that we're live or whatever.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. It's always good. I love Twitter. Sometimes I love Twitter. You get a lot of nut jobs on Twitter, but
I don't read it.
I just, first off, again, thank you guys. I saw a lot of people say it after the fact. Thank you guys for all the kind words. Thank you for saying happy birthday. Coming over to my channel tomorrow. Hopefully, because some of you guys come on the channel, we'll do a video chat. We'll talk to some of you guys. We'll talk about the game. And then tomorrow, Sunday, rather, the day after, Baddog's going to be on the channel. We're going to be calling the game of the year against the Philadelphia Eagles. And, we win that game. We get the bye. We get to celebrate for 2 weeks. And then we got Cincinnati coming up. So it is a big game in terms of the rest of this season, in terms of importance of these games. Like Baddog said, man, we say it every week. You guys make our channels go. You guys motivate me to continue to work as hard as I do on my channel. And the wide majority of you guys. Once in a while, I'll come out one of you guys because you guys are trolls. But 99% of you guys are incredibly supportive. And I am so proud of the communities that both of us have built. I mean, we're the same community. A lot of our people watch both of us. The Giants community on YouTube in general, so many great YouTubers that have spawned from us. And it's incredible that we've already had 100 shows on YouTube. And I know we're going to have, more than 100 more. And, I absolutely love doing this show. I absolutely love calling the games. And I absolutely love calling the New York Giants. And you guys inspire me, man. I never thought in a million years, I say it every time when I started YouTube, like Baddog said, I had a completely different voice when I started. It was for shits and giggles. I was playing a character. I was having fun on YouTube. I didn't even know that people came to YouTube to get sports information. I was kidding around. I was joking. I was having fun. I was looking for a hobby. And then I started to, throw my opinion in there in some of the videos that I try to make people laugh. And then I quickly realized, wow, people value my opinion. People come to YouTube to get sports information. People are sick of ESPN. And I took it a lot more seriously. And the reason I take it a lot more seriously is because you guys are the guys that inspire me to work as hard as I do every single day on my channel. And yeah, I could never say thank you enough, man, because of you guys, I've realized my dream is to talk sports. I absolutely love it. And I can't say thank you enough. And I'm looking forward to getting to talk about the Giants with you for the next 10 years, hopefully, next 20 years, whatever it may be. I absolutely love doing it. And you guys are the reason for it. So thank you.
Right. Wade, how can I be the man when you're the man, sir? But much like you, I was a trash talker. I mean, I talked about the games, but I didn't do what I was doing now. I never streamed games. I never really I never collabed with anybody. I never did any of that stuff. I just went on there and I rattle off people. I made fun of people. I made fun of I still make fun of their teams, but there's a much different aspect of what I used to do. And that's why it's fun, getting to meet you and do this, because both of our channels have grown exponentially. And again, it's because we have so many so many great subscribers. Like I said, even if you disagree with us, you're still here. That's the thing. Even though the Giants are bad, and I say this all the time, I am so proud to be a Giants fan because I've watched the Giants community grow so much. I've seen so many new Giants content creators come on in the last 2 years because I can tell you this. Before Chris, and I was on here in 2016, there might have been 6 of us. There wasn't many. There was me, there was Bones, there was Kyle Pizzle, there was Meet the Mets, and there was maybe a couple other strikers.
Kid Blue might have been.
I don't know if Kid Blue was around in 2016. I really don't remember him back then, but I'm just saying, like, it was a much different era. There wasn't a lot of Giants video makers, and now, even though they're so bad, there's so many that continue to come out. They have their own shows. They kind of do what we do, and it's awesome. Right? It's fun to watch the Giants community grow, and I say it every damn time, Chris. Just imagine what's going to be like when we're good. Imagine what's going to be like Sunday when we beat the damn Eagles.
I can't even imagine what it's going to feel like when we start winning football games. So I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And it's going to be a lot more fun covering this team when we're winning, not just for us, but for you guys as well. So thank you guys for sticking with us through the dark times. And it's going to get brighter, we promise.
Absolutely. And it's going to start Sunday when we whoop that Eagle ass. That's what's going to happen. So, guys, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys for 100 shows of support. Really do appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great Saturday. And, we'll see you on Sunday. Whoop the Eagles' ass. For the Up Tainah Talkin' Sports, the band Diggity Dizzle, we are gone.